Forgive me if I sound a little bit winded. I've been toking up for the remainder of the evening here, and I'll probably toke up a lot more later on. What the fuck, right? Anyways, we're going to have a great show tonight. I got a lot planned. Supposedly we're going to have some callers calling in the show. Last week's show, if you were tuning on in, you'll notice that it was broken in 4 parts. We had a lot of problems. I guess apparently Adrienne Curry, who runs her own show, had actually came into our chat room, and little did I know that she actually has some investment or whatever with Now Live, or she's a moderator. And she actually booted me off my own show because she thought I was the one sending out porn to Now Live because someone had imitated my name. She should have been careful, but what do you expect? You're a model, and, you got big-ass fucking titties, and the brains are in the titties. So she boots me off my own show, and, of course, it was just a whole fiasco, and then later on, I looked at the chat logs. She's like, rock on, Rick. Well, it's like you booted me off my goddamn show twice. I mean, then they wonder why at these VH1 tournaments, their VH1 is banned from all the golf courses and shit because of the way that these VH1 people act. I mean, people look at me, they're like, hey, you're a goddamn uncivilized fucking urban explorer. You're a goddamn uncivilized paranormal investigator. Whatever the fuck they say, it really doesn't matter. It's pretty bad that VH1 gets kicked off of golf courses. So she comes in here, talking her shit. Our show actually was the top show during those 2 hours it was airing, and then when the show got broken up, it had dropped down to, hardly any listeners. So it's not a big deal. Well, yeah, she might have no tits, but she sure, got some fake ones going on, so that's why they're models, I guess, or porn stars or whatever you want to call them. But anyways, it was a good publicity thing. I mean, obviously, if someone gets jealous over our show, that's got to say a lot about what we're doing here, trying to get the word out about who we are, trying to promote other groups, trying to get people together. It doesn't matter who you are or what you're into. The point is that, each week or every couple of weeks we got a place where we can get together and we can actually entertain ourselves, and make new friends in the process. And anyways, if you listened to last week's show, you would have noticed that there was an asteroid that passed by Earth. Obviously, it didn't hit because the Lord here and present. I out there and I tried outside for it. I couldn't find it. Obviously, it's like a needle in the haystack. And what's worse is when you're sitting there stoned and you're looking at the stars, you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? It looks like a bunch of polka dots in the sky. You know what I mean? So, anyways, it was a pretty interesting night. I had looked at the stars, nothing hit, and I could sit there and, think about where I'm living, because I live in this area that's kind of back in the woods. It's one of the prettiest areas you could live almost in Florida. It's not a ritzy area, but it is back away from it all. They actually carved out the homes and the plots for the homes in the woods, and it starts to go downhill because I live near the river, which I go fishing at and wave to the girls on boats and all that shit, get high at the river. It's a great area I live in. But, you can look out in the sky, you can see every star, you can look up, you can get a telescope, UFO watch, do whatever the hell you want. And, I smoke in my backyard sometimes, and nobody gives a shit here. They all do it, I do it, what the hell. So, I could actually sit there and envision an object coming through the sky, and, it doesn't matter what part of the world you're almost on, and the object coming through the atmosphere burning up, you're definitely going to see something like that. It's going to light up the sky, and maybe one day I'll live to see something like that. Anyways, the asteroid thing, it bombed out. I was ripped. I was baked. I didn't give a shit. I'm like, I don't care if the world ends or it don't end. What do I give a fuck, unfortunately, there'd be no more AngelOfThyNight radio, but hell, I'll do it in the afterlife, So now I got the whole asteroid thing and the Adrian Curry thing out of the way. I'd like to talk about 2 upcoming projects that I have succeeded at just about. I'm very proud of myself. I'm very proud of the work that has been done recently. And, it may not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but I am now an author. It's official, so it's a huge celebration for me. I just put out my first book the other day ago. I just published it. It will probably be out in book catalogs, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, probably anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks. So if you try looking for my name, you're not going to find it. I don't even use my name for my books because technically, people know me as, hey, that's AngelOfThyNight, or that's Lord Rick, or Angel, or Rick, or whatever you want to fucking call me. I don't care, but I'm not a plain Jane type of guy, So the book will be out. I got a second book coming out in probably a couple weeks. So I'm an author of 2 books currently. I have about 4 books, 5, 6 books maybe in the works. I have other books that are pre-planned. They're just not written yet. And it's looking pretty good. Some people are like, now they're treating me different. They're like, hey, you're out to make money. And technically I don't make a lot of money. Not with all the competition, all the books that are coming out and stuff. If I put out a porn book, if I put out, Lord Rick's big titty collection or something, hey, I might actually make a buck. But, we're talking paranormal here, and all the book's going to do is draw people into the radio show. It's not going to just draw paranormal investigators. It's going to draw in urban explorers. And, I consider myself half and half. I'm not biased when it comes to this type of shit. I mean, I love urban exploring very much, but I also love paranormal investigating, and I basically combine the two because I love them both. And I always have loved them both for many years. And people that are passionate about something are going to be here for years to come, and people who just don't give a shit are just going to fade away. And, you know, that's something I'm never going to do. And my books are in a way for me to live on. If I die or if something happens to me, people will still have the books to remember me by and see a little bit of my work and a little bit of my thoughts. So it's a real big thing. If I miss any calls, don't worry about it. Sometimes I do tend to wander away from the show. Anybody is more than welcome to call in. Keep in mind that, you know, if you as users in the chat room currently, if there's somebody that is harassing you or you do not like the material they are posting, you can block them in my chat room. I just want to make this clear because last week ago, you know, believe it or not, you know, when I bring in a lot of people to Now Live to listen to the show, it also helps Now Live out. And if you do not follow the rules of the chat room, you will be probably banned by their administrative services. So, you know, you as members have the authority to block a certain person, because one lady was like, oh no, that's fucking gross, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And it's like, you know, lady, just click the goddamn button and ignore the person. I deal with a bunch of ass clowns across the world. You should see the emails I get, being that I run a paranormal organization. I get people. I had some girl that used to tell me that a ghost used to go into her pussy and disappear. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? She goes, I can't explain it to you. She goes, but there's this ball of light. It goes around my room, and all of a sudden, she goes, the ball disappears into my pussy. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? She goes, but I'm embarrassed to tell you this. I said, I got the perfect fucking cure for you. I said, I'll give you a full investigation. I told her, I'll get rid of that ghost out of you. I'll come fuck you. She didn't like that idea too much. She says, well, I don't know if my husband would like the idea. I got to ask my husband. Well, I said, hey, you know, either you want the fucking ghost out of your pussy or not. She goes, well, I kind of like the feeling of it. It's like, Jesus Christ, make up your goddamn fucking mind. You know, you call me and I'm the fucking Ghostbusters. It's like I'm here to exterminate the ghost, you know. I'm going to exterminate it. The ghost ain't going to fit in your pussy with me in your pussy. But anyways, you know, it was the truth. I did get an email like that. And and as far as Millie goes, I will be definitely investigating you when I get out to California. Hell, you know, I've been hearing that the girls in California are looking pretty nice, and I'll tell you, living in Florida for this long, and you know, it's like this one girl I met within the last couple months. She had like 10 teeth fucking missing, and oh my fucking Lord. I mean, it was just a horror story, you know. Got to California, you get a little bit of ray of sunshine. Down here, you get Peggy Sue with no fucking teeth. That's the way it goes. And you know, it's funny because I've been reading up on the internet, and you know, there's a lot of hate sites and a lot of politics going on with me and all this, and it's like, it's entertainment for me, but I just don't deal with the drama. And I read things how people call me a redneck and stuff. It's like, give me a goddamn fucking break. I'm from New York. You know, you can take the man out of New York, but you can't take the New York out of the man, or whatever the fuck that saying is. But anyways, you know, I'm from New York, and I am far from a redneck. I got a redneck that lives behind me. I make fun of the guy left and right. He's out there. He's got his belly fucking hanging out. He's belching to his beer. His fucking country music and everything's just pissing me off. You know, I'm smoking. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, what have I gotten myself into? But that's the way Florida is. It's a very simple state. A lot of people live in the middle of the jungle. There is jungle here, whether you believe it or not. I don't understand it. And you know, the people just don't know how to drive, man. I was recently actually driving around the corner, and this lady, this bimbo, I'll call her a bimbo, yeah, that sounds right, pulls out, makes a left turn. She's got the stop sign, I got the straightaway. This lady pulls out in front of me, don't look to her left. I'm coming like 50 miles an hour. I'm hauling ass. Yeah, I got a Subaru. But I'll tell you what, that Subaru, it might be banged up, but I have took that fucker everywhere. I mean, I've gone fucking flying over hills and everything. I run all my vehicles into the ground. If I go exploring out in the woods, I go flying over sand dunes and shit, fucking hitting branches and trees and everything else. I don't fucking care. You know, that's what the car's for. It's for you to go for a ride and smoke a few and have fun, you know. So this lady pulls out in front of me, and you know, I actually did some drifting. I was about to hit her, and you know, if I would have hit her driver's side, I'd have hospitalized her, obviously, because my car's, you know, going 50 miles an hour, bam, it's gonna knock her fucking right across into the passenger seat. The lady pulls out in front of me, screech, put on my brakes. I react quick. I'm stoned, but I still react quick, and I drifted right around her, missed her by an inch. And I had head-on traffic too. I had to fucking avoid because I had to go in the opposite. Drifted around her. I hate Florida drivers. They are the worst goddamn drivers in the world. They are worse than the drivers in Iraq. They're worse than the drivers in Afghanistan. Hell, I think a monkey could drive better than a Floridian driver. But see, I get my driving skills from New York, and us New Yorkers, we're crazy fucking drivers. I mean, if you're from New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We go out, we drive 90 miles an hour. We get the fuck where we need to go. That's the way it goes. Anyways, I am welcoming any callers to the show. We haven't had any callers yet. If you want to call in, you got a question you want to ask, I will patch you through. Anyhow, tomorrow, if you have not kept up with the news, the space shuttle is launching off. It's about 2:47. I can generally see the space shuttle from my house when it does go off. It just looks like a fireball in the sky, and you're just like waiting. You're like, come on, motherfucker, blow up, end the space program. Because you know the space program, it's a goddamn fake. It's just to make the United States look good. You know, you guys go up in orbit. Anybody could go up in orbit. The Air Force can almost get up in orbit now. But the whole thing is that it's going up. They're testing this new fuel thing, which could technically pose a hazard if it does not work and it takes off. And of course, I have plans or had plans to go to Kennedy. But see, here's the problem. Lord Rick, which is me, is banned for like 15, 20 miles of the Florida seashore. I am not allowed on the beaches around Cape Canaveral. I am not allowed on Merritt Island. I am not allowed near NASA. I am not allowed near Patrick Air Force Base. Hell, I'm not even allowed in the state park to do a little hiking or swimming or fishing. About 4 years ago, when I first moved out here, actually it was about 3 years ago, I was doing paranormal investigations out here for about 6 months, maybe 8 months, and Jason, which has been with the group on and off, had moved down here, and you know, we ended up going to an area off on these islands, and the guy did not follow my directions. His vehicle had blown up, and we were stranded and had to hike through islands and secret bases, and you know, let's put it this way, the space shuttle was like right out in front of us. That's pretty bad, you know. It's pretty bad when you're walking in the middle of the night and you see the fucking space shuttle like a mile away in front of you. You're like, what the fuck am I doing out here? We got the fuck out of there. And of course, the guys that were with me threw a mutiny because they were like, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, and bring nothing to prepare their hike. You always prepare if you're going to get stranded, even when you're an urban explorer. You go out there and you make sure you got your shit together. Well, nobody had their shit together, and except me. I had, you know, my Gatorade, my backpack, weapons, all kinds of different things. So I was able to survive out there a few days. And the black helicopter flew over me, and then all of a sudden we got out of there, and the guys like turned themselves in. They're like, I don't believe Titusville is up the road. It's like you people live in Florida. You should fucking know your geography. You should know your directions and stuff. So we get ready to walk to town, and the dumbasses, you know, they sit there and they turn themselves in. because they figured they could get a ride in the town. And it's like, yeah, okay, the Air Force is fucking coming in, the NASA SWAT team's coming in, they're all fucking coming in. They're like, Lord Rick, we fucking got you, man. The guy's asking me how the fuck we survived out there. You know, I sustained like 4,000 mosquito fucking bites. I looked like I had the smallpox or the chicken pox going on. I had fucking mosquito bites between my legs, on my ass. Jesus. I mean, if I fucking pulled out my dick in front of some girl, she'd look at me and say, what the fuck kind of disease do you got, man? So, you know, it was a really horrifying situation. I obviously was in a lot of discomfort for a few days, and I had to take a bus back home because we had no ride home. And, you know, it's just the shit I get myself into. And a lot of times it's not our team that's the problem, it's not my leadership. What it is we got a lot of people out there who think that they can go out there and do this, and they're just not cut out for it. Florida is probably one of the hardest states to explore, and it's very hot almost all year long. There are more spiders and poisonous snakes than you could ever imagine in your life. They do bite. I killed this brownish red spider. The thing was, I don't know, the size of my goddamn fist the other day, crawling under my fucking, under something. I'm fucking slapping it. Juices are pouring out. It's like, Jesus Christ, I hate this fucking place. Get me the fuck out of here. I came down here. I did a great job. It'll make great content for a book someday. And you know, that's all that matters. Lord Rick was in Florida. Been there, done it, see ya. My move is definitely official as of a couple days ago. I had actually was going to have movers move my shit, and then I thought about it, and I said, wait a second, these guys ain't going to move my shit. These guys are going to put my shit on a fucking CSX train, and they're lying, telling me they're going to drive it across. But the trailer that they got goes on CSX. Of course, they're not going to charge you that. They're telling you that they're charging you for gas. It's like bullshit. So I'm going to end up probably getting a moving truck in about 3 weeks, and I'm going to end up just going all the way out. Okay, I'm back. Actually, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. Sometimes it likes to cut off. Actually, that's my fault because I bought a new piece of equipment for the show, and for some reason it's not working, so I'm going to have to actually go back, and I'm going to have to get a new piece of equipment for it. It's just something we're going to have to deal with. I'll have it fixed by the next show. But, you know, sometimes it does happen. That's the whole thing about doing internet radio, that it's set up to be a little bit different, because everything's done by phones, microphone, you know, speakers, and those things do fail. But anyways, where I was leaving off, and of course, now I got to get my shit collected again. It is some shit, man. I can't believe that happens, but it does. And anyways, so where was I? I was talking about the space shuttle, and how I was banned off the Cape, and a lot of people just, you know, they don't understand what it's like to have machine guns put up to your head and to be fucking interrogated, and all because of some couple morons with you who just don't fucking listen. Our investigators in Florida have been very poor. It's like when they look at me, they're like, "Where's your team?" It's like, well, I am the goddamn team, you know. And I've done a lot of investigations, and so far I've been enjoying my vacation. I haven't done any investigation or exploring. I've just been, you know, working on books, spending time with friends. I recently got a really kick-ass system, and, you know, I'm not a spokesman for PS3, but I got a PS3 as a gift the other day. And, you know, my son, I told my son, I said, I feel like I'm a goddamn rich. Because, you know, that is not just a video game system. It's a goddamn computer. I can go on MySpace using my PS3 on my big TV. I can sit there and I can browse the web. I can do all kinds of shit with it. Watch DVDs. I ordered a bunch of games today through the television screen. And I've been playing this fucking guy. You slingshot him into the fucking boards, and you watch his head hit and his body break and everything else. I was playing NHL hockey last night, stoned. And I'm a hockey player. I from up north, so that's what us guys do. We like to play hockey. We like to kick ass. We like to fight. We like to throw people in the goddamn boards. And when I was up in New York, I used to run my own hockey team. We used to play a lot of hockey. We used to have games. Sometimes they get a little rough, but it was good fun. And anyways, I'm going to be starting up a hockey league once again, obviously for my paranormal organization, and it's called the PGS Phantoms. I could have started it out here, but I wanted to wait till I actually relocated to California. And that's the topic I was on, is about my move. It is official. I will probably be in California in a few weeks. It's great news because I can start getting back to explorations, investigations. We got a lot of members who I do want to meet with. And anyways, if you are having trouble with the show, just refresh the room. You got to leave the chat room and come back in. I'm still waiting on any callers who have any current questions about our books, anything I've just talked about. I will be taking questions for the rest of the night. But anyways, if you are on D5, which is Mike Digital's forum, he is having a video game tournament. Any of you can join in on this. He's actually giving away a pretty good prize. I don't think, truthfully, I'm going to win. I'm pretty good at video games, but I'll tell you, some of his members, they really kick ass at some of them games. I tried this game over this weekend called Bloody Penguin, and you whack the fucking penguin and see how far he goes. Man, it's like I spent hours on that thing. I'm in the middle of spending time with a very good friend. She's here at my house. I'm supposed to be getting my groove on. What am I doing? I'm playing Bloody Penguin. That's what I'm playing. Because, obviously, it's winning is not everything, but to me, winning is like the only thing. So I'm sitting there, I'm playing, and, of course, the Lord didn't pull it off. I could pull off every other miracle but that. But anyways, if anybody, you're on your webcam, huh, Millie? Yeah, you guys can go on your cams if you want and turn it on. Yeah, your webcam's working. I'll tell you, man, you're a gorgeous lady. Now, see, she threw me off. I'm supposed to be doing the show, and I'm watching the webcam. Man, I'll tell you, I just get myself in the craziest situations. And, I actually, in the future, I'm looking to get into some video production work. And I was talking with Rob Duffy, who runs Massachusetts Urban Exploring. And, of course, he wants to bring me out to Boston for a few days to do some exploring and some investigations. It's very hard because, for me, it's like everything that I do comes out of my pocket. So when other people are able to raise funding for a trip, I'll gladly go anywhere in the world to help out with explorations or investigations. And I guess what we'll do is we'll do a video production type of thing, and we'll join our groups together, and we'll put it on YouTube, and it'll be a really great thing for the people who listen to this show to be able to just go into YouTube and see some of our live work and live explorations taped or whatever from, let's say, an asylum that we do, or some ruins, or some haunted abandoned places. It really doesn't matter what we do. The point is that we go out there and we just get the goddamn shit done. And we have fun doing it, and we make friends. That's the main thing. I bet you will be in Boston. I like Boston folk. I'll tell you, I had a girlfriend many years ago that up in Boston. This girl was like a millionaire. I'll tell you, but she was a millionaire alcoholic. This girl could drink 20, 30 beers a day. This girl would pack them left and right, slam, 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 slam. I mean, she'd come to my house, order 2 pizzas, and like a 12-pack. 12-pack would be done, and then next you know, she'd go out, run out, get another 12-pack. And this girl was fucking crazy. And then she was so crazy of a friend of mine, she moved across the fucking street, was having parties, $1,000 parties, going gambling, $10,000 at the casino. I'll tell you. But I mean, she was from Boston. She was all right. And I had a couple guys. I used to do telemarketing years ago. I was a telemarketer, and I had a couple guys that were, I mean, we're talking about high rollers. Guys that are millionaires that I hung out with, and they were into the drug scene and everything. And I mean, pretty cool guys. And I had a couple friends, they were from Boston too, and he had the Boston accent, and we just had such a good time all the time, going to work selling these fucking people all kinds of magazines, and he'd be waving his fucking fist. Yeah, I just made $1,000 today, Yeah, that was me calling you up. Probably, I used to hit on all the girls, the old ladies. I'd call them a fucking spring chicken. I'd be like, hey, lady, you're a spring chicken. Buy my magazines, Oh, thank you, kind sir. It's like, no problem. Enjoy that little gift I send you, too. Yeah, I was a major telemarketer until one day the FBI visited me. And the FBI couldn't get me for nothing because I never lied. That was the whole thing. I never lied to a person. I merely was just good at what I did, which was deal with people, and I mean, it was just a crazy time in my life. We made money. We went to strip clubs. I had Asian girls sitting in my lap. That was fucking Vegas. And I'll tell you something. In about a year or two, I am going back to Vegas. I'm going to be visiting Vegas at least once, twice a year. We're going to investigate these casinos. Man, we're going to have the times of our life. I got this one place to explore. It's outside Vegas. It's one of the creepiest places you could ever go in your entire life. And if you don't believe in the paranormal, you go in that place and shut the lights off, you'll piss your pants. You will piss your pants. That's just how it goes down. I almost pissed my fucking pants. And that's pretty bad. All right? But you go in this place, and there are caves and tunnels. It's supposedly can go a mile deep. I don't know. There's chasms you got to crawl over. It's deadly if you fall. But I'm going to get repelling equipment, and we're going to fucking repel down into the pit. We're going to go wandering down there. That's what we're going to do. Piss pants or not, you're still going. No man left behind. But I want to go back there because I have some business that I got to do. Because when I was there, I seen a ghost. When I was there, I seen a demon. When I was there, I also had other weird activity happen. And back then, I wasn't stoned. I wasn't high. I wasn't doing nothing. I was, but not on my explorations because it was all new to me years and years ago. I mean, this kind of urban exploring and paranormal investigating, it wasn't very popular back then. 10 years ago, I one time spoke in front of a group of 20 guys. I said, are you in on this expedition? These guys looked at me and said, I don't want to fucking die. I don't want to die. I don't want to go. I'm scared. These guys are fucking involved in karate, martial arts, bodybuilders, and all the guys chickened out. One guy who worked for the military went with me, special ops. Obviously, he's going to go because, he's got a gun and everything else legally. But the other guys, they chickened out, There's all kinds of weird shit going on outside Vegas. It's pretty cool. But anyways, if I guess since there are some ladies listening to this show, if you would like a photo shoot done, you can get a hold of me. I run AngelOfThyNight Enterprises. We actually do some adult work. We photograph, film, whatever you want to call it. We do photo shoots of porn stars, girls, nudity, whatever you want to call it. Why lie? Every man's got to make a buck. Every man's got to put the food under the table. And a couple weeks ago, I did a pretty major photo shoot for a porn star girl, and she's pretty hot. It's hard not to touch the goods, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't touch the goods. I was actually a behaved man, which is a surprise, because I'm usually not a behaved man. I take it as it comes. But anyways, I was a behaved man, and I pulled off a wonderful photo shoot, and she paid me very good money for my work, because I do good photography. I do good work. And that's basically one of the things that I am with the Paranormal Ghost Societies. I am the main photographer. And I go into these places, and I have to photograph them because we have to show that we were there. Explorations do no good if you don't come back with any sort of photos. You got to have the photos to at least show that you're involved, that you're getting a lot of things done. Anyways, don't be shy if you want to call. If you want to call in, go ahead and call in. Millie, you're still looking pretty great on the show here. Bad, Rick. Bad. Don't look at the webcam. But anyways, last week when the show had got broken in half, I had put on the table the $1 Million Challenge. This is basically for TV producers and sponsors, and what I'm proposing to you is a $1 million challenge. In other words, anybody who's willing to offer a $1 million reward to the Paranormal and Ghost Society, I am willing to take on any investigation on this earth. And when I say investigation, I'm talking about serious shit, you know. I want to be sent into something that's like hell. Don't fucking send me to a cemetery. You send me into fucking a volcano. You send me in the goddamn hell. Otherwise, I ain't taking the $1 million. But the point is that I want to do something like this. I don't have the banner up on our site yet, which will explain more details. But I like to do a lot of the dangerous stuff because that's the only way you're going to uncover the truth. You ain't going to get no aliens and Bigfoot unless you're fucking climbing cliffs and acting like a jackass out in the woods. I don't care what anybody says. You know, the truth is out there. You just got to go out and you just got to do the damn shit. That's just how it is. And if my buddies are with me and we have fun together, we'll do it together. Really doesn't matter. Our society is so open and loose, and back then people had a lot of misconceptions about it because you have all these ghost groups out there. You know, you have a couple on Now Live, too, that have their own shows. But it's just so serious. There's no fun involved in it. And you got to be loose. Got to have fun doing what you're doing. If you don't have fun doing what you're doing, you shouldn't be in this business. It's like urban exploring. You got to have some fun doing this shit. You're going to trespass? Have some goddamn fun. Take a few fucking souvenirs while you're at it. What the hell, right? I mean, that's just the way it goes, and people just don't understand it. And you know, they sit there and they try to judge the Paranormal Ghost Society because we trespass in the cemetery. I had some guy write me recently from a cemetery I had been to. He says, I got a question for you. What the fuck are you doing in my family cemetery when the gates are locked? I was like, sir, maybe you left the gates unlocked. I said, or maybe the cemetery is much similar to another cemetery in the area. Because the name he used for the cemetery, I've seen many graves with the same names on them. Yates? I've seen like 3 separate cemeteries with the name Yates out here in Florida. It's a popular name, Yates. So I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, I let it go over my head. I wrote the guy. I told him, I said, there you can do. I said, you don't own the spirits. You might own the land. I pretty much told the guy, I said, you know, you cannot sue me. You cannot take me to court. You cannot get me arrested. I said, trespassing in a cemetery in the state of Florida requires you to be trespassed and caught by the police. And then if you are caught a second time, you can technically be imprisoned or fined. At least that's how it works down in my area. So the guy never wrote me back because he knows I'm goddamn right. It's like, do you see me pissing on your graves? Do you see me shitting on your graves? Am I doing anything in your cemetery? No. I'm taking pictures of the stones, and by doing so, it actually is like a memorial for your loved ones. Even if it's on the web, people are going to remember that this cemetery is your cemetery and that these people can live on through the Paranormal Ghost Society. Isn't that a goddamn honor? I think it's a fucking honor. They just don't see it that way, you know? But anyways, you know, I'll tell you what. I'll be honest with you. I pissed in a lot of cemeteries. If I gotta go, I gotta go. I mean, you know, I'm not pissing on graves. I'm not, you know, pissing on a tree. Who the fuck cares? We used to have this little contest going on our investigations. If you were caught pissing, you have your photo taken. Of course, you know, you sneak up on the person, you take their fucking picture. You used to piss everybody fucking off. The females would get mad. They're like, this is a private thing. I'm like, I'm not looking at your pussy, man. Just trying to get you on film. Your ass crack's fucking hanging out. But, you know, some people just don't like pictures of their ass taken while they're out exploring. Me, personally, here, I'll just fucking bear it for you. Take the fucking pictures all you want. What the hell? But, you know, there's no sin in going into a cemetery and relieving yourself on a tree. People say it's bad, you're going to be cursed, blah, blah, blah. Man, so in other words, the squirrels take a piss in a cemetery. The squirrels are cursed, right? Deer walks in, deer shits in the cemetery. Uh-oh, deer's going to be cursed. Come on, man. The shit goes right back into the earth. There's no harm done in pissing on the grass. I don't even know how I got on this topic. I'm talking about pissing and shitting in cemeteries. Well, we've had some investigators that have walked around and bummer look, Anyways, sex in the cemetery. I'm going to share a story with the American public about sex in the cemetery. Okay? Back many years ago when I started the Paranormal Ghost Society, I think it was about 2001, 2002, I had this female investigator. She had a crush on me, and I wasn't giving it up. I'm like, man, this girl's like fucking dating a buddy of mine, blah, blah, blah. This girl keeps grabbing my fucking ass every investigation. Grabbing my ass, nice fucking tight jeans, Rick, and then by like the fifth investigation, this girl's got her arms wrapped around me in the cemetery. I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on here, man? I ain't getting no goddamn work done here. I might as well just fucking go to it and get it done and over with. Sitting in a cemetery one night, we're sitting down, and we see a group of fucking people come up to a mausoleum, take a shovel, and break the glass in the mausoleum. Well, the cemetery is next to the police department, so you know what happened. The alarms went off. At the same time, somebody was trying to dig up a grave. We were watching this shit unfold. I couldn't believe it. And all of a sudden, the alarm goes off, the cops come flying in there. I found out she was doing drugs on my investigations. I don't care what you want to do, but just keep it under fucking control. This lady's stumbling all over the place. She's high as fuck. She ain't high on weed. She's high on something else. She's walking around, and, she's stumbling. I'm carrying her ass. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck did you eat for dinner? I carry her. I brought her in a fucking ditch. It started fucking raining. Their fucking cops were shining their lights. I knew we would be blamed for it if we were caught, so I had to do the best thing possible, which was hide. Fucking, we're in the ditch. It's fucking wet. It's raining. She's got her fucking top all wet. She's fucking pulling out her tits, and next you know, I'm fucking in the goddamn cemetery. I see fucking ghosts looking at me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I got no goddamn privacy either. So I'm trying to get my groove on fast. I'm like trying to, I'm like, come on. I got fucking ghost look at shit. Hey, I pulled off a good investigation. It ain't my fault someone broke into the mausoleum. At that point, the investigation's over with. What are you going to do in your spare time? Have sex in the cemetery. That's what I do. Yeah, I know. I'm the founder. I'm a real good example to other paranormal enthusiasts, aren't I? The ghost had watched me fuck, okay? Yeah, man. I mean, anybody can do whatever they want on the investigation. I don't care if people smoke. I don't care if somebody walks around with a beer in their hand. I really don't care. Because, this isn't something we get paid to do. This is something that is meant to be fun. It's meant to make friends. It's meant to learn things. As long as you're not a threat to anybody and I don't have to carry your ass out of there, I don't see a problem with it. But this girl used to get ripped on my investigations. This girl couldn't walk. And, it was just ridiculous. It's like, carry my fat ass out, and it's like, wait a second here. I should be leaving your ass. Because if you can't stand, you shouldn't be out there doing it. We're not fucking cripples. We're paranormal investigators. We should be able to run, hike, walk, climb, hop fences. You should be able to do all of that. And I train my guys to be very elite. I train them to climb 7-foot walls. It's like American fucking gladiators. And the people that can't do it, I give them another task. But the people that can do it, we do hardcore shit. Even if it means swimming up inside a cave and just to get into a place, we'll do it. I mean, that's just how our investigations work. And, I've been through a barbed wire. Yeah, we got a caller on the line. Let's see who's calling in. Oh, wait. Damn it. Lost that caller. You know what? Now Live has this new setting for callers. All right. They have this new setting for callers, and so I'm going to have to get used to it. So if I hang up on you, bear with me. It's just one of those things. Are you on the air? Yes, no. I'm not stoned yet. Hello? Yeah, it's like the caller option is not working. I cannot hear you. I don't know why. Can you? You're on mute? Let me go ahead and put the show on hold. Actually, we're due for a break. I don't have right now an option to unmute you. I am not sure why, because this is weird ass shit. You know, it seems like every week something strange happens. I just can't figure it out. Yeah, we're going to take about a minute break because I got to go spark a joint here. I got to figure this shit out, you know? Anyways, we have certain commercials and things going on with our show. And so, you know, just bear with me because we actually are trying out some new things. Okay, show's going on hold for a minute. Okay, break's over. I had to spark one. You just got to understand. Actually, I have changed a little bit of the settings. You can try calling in again. I don't know if it's going to work. Like I said, our radio show has a whole new setup. And so anyways, let me smoke this joint here. You know what it's like to try to do a show and to spark a joint? The hardest goddamn fucking thing I've ever done in my life. Feel free to call on the show. Let's see if the new settings work. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. Because for some reason, what it's doing is putting all the callers that call in on private. I don't know why, but it is. Anyways, back on track. As you can see, somebody asked what the music is. When we go on break, we will play our theme. We got different theme songs. Mike Digital worked very hard on these. It's the best I've heard. I listen to a lot of other radio shows sometimes. It's just like, they're so lame, so mainstream. We try to do things a little bit different around here. And the thinking part for me is going to be, it's going to be very hard to do tonight, especially when I'm stoned. But anyways, this week I had seen the movie Saw 4. I don't know what any of you think about Saw 4, but the goddamn movie's getting lame, man. Alright. Perfect ending in 3. Let it fucking go. They're both dead. It's over. They go. They make another goddamn Saw 4. They make another Saw. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, now, I don't understand the goddamn plot, okay? I smoked a fat one before I watched that movie. You think I understood what it meant? I see dead bodies and everything else. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ. Let's hope when I'm on a paranormal investigation, I don't get kidnapped and put into some game. But if they put me in some game, like I said, I'm going to play to win. It's like, okay, you want to murder me? All right, we'll play. But anyway, Saw 4 sucks. If you rent the movie, it's going to confuse the shit out of you. Maybe you'll understand it if you're not stoned. I don't know. Maybe you have a little bit better luck. Anyways, if someone could call on the show and give me a test, I would appreciate it. And of course, you can talk about anything. We will get to the vampire topic in a little bit. Actually, that was the theme of the show, was vampires, but I'm trying to get a little bit of this other shit out of the way right now. You got a corset on? God damn, girl. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. I like the vampire look. I like the Gothic look. And, it's not all the time, but it is something nice to see on a woman. because the Gothic look was actually existed a couple hundred years ago. Women were that way. And somehow it changed, and, you know, the trends had gotten forgotten. They were lost, they were forgotten, and then the whole goth scene in the last 10 years has just sparked up again. You see women wearing corsets and, you know, the black hair down and the piercings and the tattoos and all that. Breathless is good. I'll leave you breathless, too. Leave all the ladies breathless. But, you know, so I think the whole look is good, but the whole point that brings me to is that a lot of people think because they're Gothic or they're in this scene that they're vampires. And that was my whole topic for tonight, is vampires. Before I get to that, let's see if we got any callers before I get into this whole vampire thing. Yeah, I kind of figured you'd call in for the vampire talk. And anyways, before I get into all this, this week I went to see a horrifying doctor. You know, a couple weeks ago was a mental doctor. Not because I'm mental, because I was required to take an evaluation for my back problems, which has nothing to do with my mentality. And of course, you know, the guy obviously knew I lied. So this week, I went to see another doctor for my back, which I didn't get nothing for my back, which is killing me, by the way. So of course, you know, I'm not only stoned tonight, I'm on pills too for my back that I had to take. But the doctor was a real fucking whack job. You know, I get into the office, they're like, hey, like Lord Rick, give us an eye test. My eyes are fucking shot to hell, you know. I couldn't see the goddamn board. I was reading all the numbers wrong. This lady's rolling her eyes. The doctor's making me play all these fucking games with them, pushing on his hands, this and that. I'm like, come on. I just, you know. And it's like, you know, if this guy could get a goddamn medical license, then I'm a goddamn doctor. Dr. Lord Rick. In the house. You know, it's like, I might as well put an ad in the Yellow Pages and just put Dr. Rick. And there's nothing they can do, because if they ever try to sue me for malpractice, I will just say to the judge, I will be like, Your Honor, I am the goddamn medicine. It is not my fault, Your Honor, that this bitch is allergic to me. Of course, most women in Florida are allergic to me because I ain't no damn hick. Now, if I was a hick, things would be different. So, Lord Rick goes to California. Now let's get to the good shit. Many of you have heard a lot about vampires. Question is are they real? Are they not real? Pocket pool with the nurse? Gothic nurse, maybe. But anyways, you know, I met a girl back when I was in Vegas. I was with a guy buddy of mine, and me and this guy used to party a lot. You know, and we would go to casinos in Vegas and eat and fucking look at girls and everything else. And I'm going to be connecting with him when I get out there because I've known him for years. And my nickname used to be Dracula. Don't laugh. This was 10 years ago. When I first got on the internet was new to me, you know. I never told my name. People would just be like, they'd be like, who are you? I'd be like, I'm Dracula. Because I was so much into vampires 10 years ago, you know, and then it kind of weirded me out for a while. Bob Saget? There's a guy that has, what the hell they call that? That disease where you swear a lot, which my sons and I have, where we say shit, fuck, asshole, Tourette syndrome. They got a video online, and the guy's like, Bob Saget, fuck you, Bob Saget. Video's hilarious, but it's really not funny because the guy ended up dying, you know. But anyways, when we were in Vegas, me and this buddy of mine went out and we met this fucking girl. You know, and she invited us over to party, and I'm thinking, hey, I'm getting laid tonight. I'm getting laid by a vampire chick. You know, and I get to this girl's house, she's got fangs. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? You know? Girl's got fangs. The girl's house smells like fucking orgies have taken place. I smell sex in the air. I'm thinking, God damn, we hit the fucking jackpot here, son. We're sitting there, and this friend of mine, he's had all the hot girls in Vegas. You know, he's sitting there, he's intimidated, he's scared. He's like, what do we do, Rick? Fuck out of here. I'm like, yeah. This girl sits us fucking down and tells us She says, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "No, actually, I don't know who the fuck you are." Like, "Do you know who I am? I'm the Lord." So anyways, this lady sits there, and I told her I was Dracula. I know, very funny. She goes, "No, no, 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 no." She goes, "Get this." She goes, "I am a descendant of Count Dracula." And I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell is this lady talking about? She goes, "Yes." She goes, "I am a vampire, and I have amazing powers." Well, if she had amazing powers, she'd know the powers that I fucking have. You know, it's like, yeah, you got amazing powers, woman. I got power. Let's fucking get it done with. There's power. But anyways, this lady actually scared me. I ran the fuck out of there. You know, this lady sit there and she's telling me, you know, I got superpowers and I can do this and I can do that. She goes, "I can float in midair." I'm like, "Do it! Float in midair!" You know, I may be a paranormal investigator, but that don't mean I'm stupid, all right? I don't believe in every goddamn thing I hear. You know, I might like ghosts. I've seen ghosts. I photograph ghosts. Hell, I like it all because I've seen the shit. So, of course, I believe in it. I've seen it. But when this girl sat there and told me she could levitate and float and has all these powers and was going on how she has the genes of Count Dracula in her blood and shit, you know, it's like this girl is just, you know, she's out there, man. It's like, give me the shit that you are smoking. Give me the shit. Let me smoke what you're smoking, and I'll be fucking Count Dracula. You could be my goddamn bride. I don't care, you know. And so, you know, back then that was my first vampire experience. And, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, you know, I ran out and I never spoke to the girl again because out in Vegas, you know, half of these people think that they're vampires. It's like, let me get this straight. You live in one of the most sunniest cities in the country. Vegas is sunny almost all the time. It doesn't rain. It's hardly cloudy there. You're a goddamn vampire. Okay. If I'm going to be a goddamn fucking vampire, you know where I'm going to live? Send my ass to goddamn Antarctica, where it's 21 hours or 24 hours dark every fucking day. Then I live in the goddamn darkness. I don't got to worry about the sun burning my white ass. So that was, you know, that was something weird for me because...
Hey, Rick.
Yo. What's up, man?
Hey, man, what's going on?
What's your question?
Hey, have you ever ran into any of those stoned vampire chicks?
Which vampire chicks?
The stoned ones, you know, the ones that smoke pot and all that good stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hey, yeah, are they a blast?
They're freaky, man.
I
love stoned vampire chicks.
What about stoned ghosts?
Stone ghosts, I think, well, the thing is that when you pass on and you die, your mind carries over. If you are a stoner... So if you die stoned,
you spend the rest of eternity stoned?
No. It's whatever the entity chooses to be. If I die and I choose to be stoned, then I'm going to be stoned in the afterlife. We are a mind-based entity. That is how entities of this earth are. If you die crazy, you're probably crazy in the afterlife. Same concept with being stoned, drugged up.
Okay. Well, it'd be interesting. I've never run across any stoned ghosts, but, you know.
I haven't run across too many ghosts.
How about you?
Well, anything's possible. I've never ran into really a stoned vampire, but I've ran into a stoned vampire wannabe. You know, if that makes sense.
Well, guess what? Boobs rule.
All right, well, thanks for calling in. Sometimes we can't always tell the callers that we have. But anyways, I did do a vampire investigation. This was about 3-4 years ago. And it was a really unusual investigation because it was a tip-off. Someone told me to go to this tunnel. And they said, if you go in this tunnel, there's vampires in there. They live in there. I said, come on. You know, because they gave me 2 locations. The first one was an underground mortuary where a bunch of vampires are supposedly hanging out. And I'm just, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, hey, this sounds like some good shit. If I go into the vampire's lair, either 2 things are going to happen. The Lord's going to be feasted upon, or I'm going to get goddamn lucky by some horny vampire chicks. So I took the investigation, and I seen what I could do with it. and we went in these tunnels, and these tunnels go for like a mile, and there's homeless people hiding in them, and the rats are the size of cats, fucking gritting their teeth at you. It's like, holy shit, that fucking rat's gonna eat me, And we didn't run into no vampires. A lot of homeless people, a lot of it was very dark, like you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. At that time, we had shitty flashlights, generic lights, so you can imagine. I mean, you're in this tunnel, and you hear movement and everything else. There's gangs hanging out in front of the place. They watch us go in with all this equipment. Really wasn't a comfortable situation. But anyways, and I did the tunnels once. I liked them so much I did them again. No all these people from my Paranormal Ghost Society forum tell me that there's vampires and they've seen them and flying around. I didn't see shit. It's like, come on. You see the vampires, but I don't see the vampires? And I'm in there fucking hooting and hollering and everything else? Come on, I'm asking to be eaten here. Take me. Take my neck and bite the fuck out of it. Do something. But we go into there, we don't see nothing. You never found a mortuary underground. I guess they use one of the there's like a mausoleum that you can go underneath at a nearby cemetery, and they broke the gates and people hang out down under there, with the coffins and everything. I never ran into anything though. I even went to the cemetery. So, are vampires real? I don't know. I'll tell you what. If someone wants to play vampire and eat me, I'm all for it. I'll keep my options pretty open. But anyways, it was brought up to me that there is a vampire disease, and it's called porphyria. And basically, it's a rare disorder, and they also call it a vampire disease. It's an inherited disease and causes a number of interesting symptoms, which are seizures, mental illness, hallucinations, depression, paranoia. Causes skin issues such as photosensitivity, blisters, itching, swelling. The main issue with it is the lack of production of hemoglobin, the principal ingredient of blood, which technically makes you want to drink blood. Now, I used to run a Gothic group, and I still do run a Gothic forum right now, but back then, every month I get a girl that writes me and says, I want to feast upon your blood. I'm like, whoa, wait a second here. You want to drink my blood? It's like, I don't want to share my power with you. You ain't drinking my blood. And I guess it's technically with some people what it is that it's a disease, vampirism. And this disease has existed for many years. It's very rare. It is very true. And a lot of people just don't know it. And I have came across people that actually do drink blood. Some of the Native American tribes believe that if you drank blood, you also drank the soul of another man. So that in mind, some of these girls contact me online. They're like, yeah, the founder of the Paranormal Ghost Society, I want to drink your blood. It's like, no, I gotta climb mountains here in a couple months. I really don't need to be all losing my blood to this girl and that girl. It's like you can suck something else, just don't suck the blood. But anyways, the disease is in the blood system. I don't know if it's treatable, but a lot of people do think that the vampires exist because is it necessarily true? I don't know. Are there real vampires? I don't know. The purpose of our organization is that we go out and we study this shit. Whether it's real or not, if we get gotta check out this shit. It was just like Warren, Pennsylvania. A guy contacts me. He says, I'm not crazy. He says, just me out. He says, here's what's going on. I need you to come up. And at that time, knew clientele. I didn't know how to deal with people. I didn't know if they were going to, chop me up in their basements and shit. So I camped out with this guy. And sure enough, he was pretty accurate. The shit he said that was going down in them woods was going down. There was Bigfoot activity and ghost and everything else. He was very right on about it. Yeah, well, there was fucking in the woods too going on. But still, the whole point is that, when I had met him, he took me on a lot of tours of the area and showed me all the hot spots for paranormal. It worked out really nice because I started finding things on my own out there. So, you know, when people call us in on a case such as vampires, we do have to take precautions because we don't know if, and with fangs being like, hey, we're going to goddamn eat you for supper. You're the founder of the Paranormal. It's like, we want your blood. It's like, you know, you don't want my blood, you know. I'm now, all right? Just wait till I'm done being stoned. But, you know, that's just how it is. A lot of people make up a lot of stuff. A lot of people are lonely. It's like that fucking bitch on Paranormal Interest Radio. They asked me to do a goddamn interview a couple months. That girl has the balls. That girl has the balls to call in the show when I was doing my interview and tell me that these people are lonely and need somebody to talk to. She's like, how come you don't do enough houses? How come you don't have enough clients? How come this? How come that? Why don't you go fuck yourself, lady? You know, it's like I'm really going to go to someone's house. And they're going to tell me, hey, Rick, we need you to investigate my house. You think I'm not going to go stone to their house and shake their hand? I'm going to go, this is me. This is what you see is what you get. And, of course, this lady trying to tell me that I need to do more houses and keep people coming. It's like I don't waste my time. You call me up, and I come to your house, and you're fucking lying just because you want a cup of coffee with me? We got a problem here, okay? I'm going to do something fucking fun, all right? I'm going to put my ass on your goddamn fucking see-through shower and leave the ass fucking cheek marks on the goddamn glass. So that way when I leave, you know Lord Rick has been there. That's what I'm going to fucking do. But anyways, you know, it's just, we get things like that. And there was another argument that the vampire is not a vampire at all. It's the chupacabras. Chupacabras is seen up in most of the southern states, Florida, Texas, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Alabama, possibly as far up as Georgia, Arizona, New Mexico, parts of Nevada, and southern parts of California. It is a creature that technically takes the blood out of the animal, and it does not really mutilate them, but it sinks its teeth in the neck area until the blood is completely drained. They cannot even find any blood in the veins. They cannot find any blood in the, I don't even know the scientific word, you know, hey, I'm stoned. Capillaries or whatever the fuck they call those things. But anyways, they cannot find any trace blood in the system. And of course, you know, I have an article here that goes on about the goat sucker, and you know, they call that the, you know, a real vampire because, you know, it's a sucker and all these other things, and that's for the reason of simply when it attacks an animal, it takes all the blood. And it's got fangs like a vampire. So it's like, is that maybe some kind of metamorphosis of a vampire? Is that the final form that's created from this? I don't know, but there's got to be some connection because these things only want blood. They don't seem to be going for any flesh. They don't seem to be going for any organs like a normal cryptid attack. Bigfoot will usually mutilate something. It'll eat it up. It'll fucking bite the bones. It'll do whatever it wants to do. But these things eat very clean. They'll jump from 5 to 6 animals in just a few seconds. And of course, I think there might be one very close to my house because of the mutilations that had occurred a few years ago, and they could not identify what caused the mutilations. I live near Casadega. You know, I live in a very strange area. And, you know, the whole thing is that this is an area that's got an occult town. There is a Native American medicine wheel near my house. I live on plantation tracks where the Stark Plantation and Thursby Mansion exist. I am on those tracks right now. Live in a very interesting area of Florida. It's the only thing I'm going to miss about leaving here is that fact. Look where I goddamn live. I mean, out of all the places I could have lived in Florida, I live in one of the weirdest fucking parts of the state. You know, there's chupacabras, there's fucking creatures in the woods, there's hauntings, there's all kinds of shit going on around here. And when I first came out to the DeLand area, and you know, none of you have ever really heard of DeLand, but urban explorers who come here, I send them the Gators. They ask me, like, hey, Rick, where should I go eat at if I come down here? I send them all the Gators because Gator rules. Gator, those girls that work for Gators, some of them girls I've talked to, I got 2, 3 kids, and their asses are tighter than a fucking virgin, all right? I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with chomping, drinking a beer, and seeing an ass tighter than a virgin. So I like going to Gators. I send all the Gators, all the paranormal investigators, I send to Gators dockside. Land's a no-name town. It's like the first paranormal group to come here. There is some very obese girl that runs a group near me. You know, obviously this girl pisses me off because she put in her book, she's got a picture of a sprinkler. Take a picture, you get about 1,000 orbs. We all know most of it. You know it, I know it. I'm a paranormal investigator. I know it myself. I ain't an idiot. I may act like an idiot, but I'm not an idiot. And this girl sits there, she puts in her book, you know, here's my #1 ghost shot. So I went to the cemetery to check it out myself. And the shot where she took it, there's a fucking sprinkler that goes off at night at a certain time. I get squirted in the face by the sprinkler. I'm fucking pissed. I'm like, man, this motherfucking bullshit. I go to the cemetery and this is the shit I gotta put up with. And, you know, this girl's going around, you know, she's got her fucking book with a picture in the book, and I'm thinking, you know, I know it's a fake. And, you know, everybody writes me about this girl, you know. This one girl writes me and says, this bitch kicked me off the team. I'm like, well, I'm not like that. I don't just kick people off the team, you know. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. But anyways, she told me that what it is, that this girl is very obese, and when she gets guys on her team, she kicks off all the girls and steals their boyfriends and fucks their... It's just a whole drama thing. It's like, how come we don't have none of that shit going on our team? When our team gets together, we go, we goddamn smoke one, we head out, we hike, we come back and we smoke one. That's the way it goes down, okay? It's not, he slept with her, she slept with he, whatever, you know? This girl's fucking competing with me for 4 years down here. It's like, competition with me. Okay, why? You know, she hasn't investigated nothing. She just runs a group 18 miles from here and comes out here for little ghost tours. So when I came here, there was really no threats. Now, we got some dickhead who runs a paranormal group like 2 miles from me. And their message is, we don't have a site. Sorry. They're on this one forum, you know, and it's like, they're sitting there, they got 30 people showing at the meetups, and it's like, but they don't get nothing done. You know, and I'm sure some of you, if you wanted to join our society, and you wanted to join me on an exploration, you would join because you would want to see places, travel, do things, have parties, get together, and have some fucking fun. Not sit there and waste your time with some fucking copycat fucking group. Like, Lord Rick's investigating the land, now we're going to investigate the land. There ain't shit to see out here. The only cool thing that's in Florida, if you're going to visit here, is Cassadaga. And it goes back to all that's going on down here. And anyways, boob. Why does everybody want me to say boobs tonight? I don't know. Yeah. Hey, Millie, you going to show them again later to me? Boobs rule. I don't, you know, well, of course boobs rule. I mean, what, you know, come on, think about it. Even the ladies who aren't bisexual in today's world will still look at another set of tits. And they can sit there and say, well, you know, I'm just checking them out because I want to make fun of a nice set of tits. Come on, everybody in this chat room is like a set of tits. I don't need to say boob, okay? I say tits. What boobies are? Boobies are on, like, little girls, okay? Tits are on a woman. I don't know about you, but what would you rather have, boobies or tits? Vampire would be even hotter, you know, got the corset on and everything else. Yeah, Cheers is right. Cheers is right. But anyways, very odd. Let me put the show on hold for 1 second. Okay, break's over. I had to go and I had to check something. You know, hey, what can I say? Like I said, I'm stoned. Anyways, there were some interesting vampire articles that I was looking at. There was one on Vlad the Impaler, and of course, you know, I tried studying this stuff, and technically found a few kind of thing. And of course, everybody likes the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula because it's, you know, based on Vlad the Emperor, bloodthirsty rulers of the 15th century. And one of the most famous vampires that I'd like to discuss is Elizabeth Bathory. She was the Countess of Hungary, and in 1610 she was found guilty of murdering over 600 young girls. She would bathe in the blood to preserve her own youth. She was convicted of sorcery. She was in prison for the rest of her life. She's probably one of the most famous female vampires. I had a very thick vampire book that I had read. And it was, basically it had a nice section on her, which I love like an encyclopedia. I could never write a book that long. I might be an author now, or status. I don't have the attention span to sit there and write 700 pages. I'd be like, fuck, man, I ain't getting off this fucking chair. I couldn't stand it. I have to get up. See, the thing is about me is that I can't do one thing at once. If I'm not doing 10 things at once, I don't feel complete. I will smoke a joint, walk to the tree, I will play it, I will walk back to the computer, work on my book, go in the kitchen, go cook myself some fucking fillets, grab a beer. I'm always doing something. That's the thing. But these authors that write these 700-page vampire books, what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking? You need to devote your whole life to vampire things and darker things in life. Anyways, she was one of the most famous female vampires, which probably a lot of people not know. And, I was fascinated with her story, which has a lot of similarities to Gladiator Keller or Count Dracula, some call him Dracula. The only difference is that she would not only bathe in the blood, she would drink it. Gladiator Keller was more into the beheading. He just basically would entail whatever. Rats, mice, animals, heads on stage, all of it. But, that's basically the movie Bram Stoker's. It was based on that. It's still one of my favorite movies. It probably is, if you're into the vampire thing, it probably is one of your favorite ones, too. And there was an article that I was reading. The article goes as this. It's called Village Puts Vampires to Rest. And basically, there's a town in Romania, and Romania is a very poor country. There's a lot of prostitution, a lot of drugs, there's just a lot of hidden things going on out there. It's not like our country. We got cops and laws and politicians. These countries, like Bulgaria and shit, you go to Bulgaria, you can do drugs and fuck and do everything you ever wanted to do. I want to go to Bulgaria. I want to visit. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to live there. All right. Do I look Bulgarian to you? I ain't no goddamn gypsy. All right. I'm just Lord Rick. But anyways, you. Hey, man, take the call.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, I have it set to automated callers. What is your question?
Hello.
It's okay to be speechless on the
phone.
phone.
I'm hanging up.
Jeez. I think a lot of people that call on the show, they get like stage fright. They're just like, they look and, oh man, I'm on the air. Adrian Curry, she might hear me. I hope Adrian Curry's out there. I hope Adrian Curry's listening to the show, right? Everybody's invited to the AngelOfThyNight radio show. You can definitely call on the show, and definitely anybody can call in and say hi or whatever. Yeah, I must be a very intimidating guy. Go ahead and call on the show. I'm very cool with it. I like people to actually call in because I do like good questions. I like to be challenged. I go through most of my life very unchallenged. I'm the type of guy I am. That's probably why people give me such a hard time, is that I get bored very easily. It's like, you sit here and you run a show and nobody calls, and it's like, It's like, give me a question that I got to think about. Because if I'm not thinking, I'm not doing my job. So when we did the interview and they started asking me questions, I was thinking to myself, oh my fucking Lord, you guys can't give me anything more challenging? And it was all the same questions. Why do you how come you're trespassing? Like, okay, Mom and Dad, So I felt like I was, I was on the phone with Mom and Dad. I was like, Mom and Dad, I am sorry, man. I am sorry I trespassed. I am sorry I was a bad founder for smoking in the cemetery. Well, I'm actually reading the chat room, but you know what? Sometimes I walk away, and one day I will bring you guys tits to this chat room, but I probably will not bring my own fucking boobs to this chat room because, hey, men got boobs too. No, let me change that. Real men have pectorals. And one day I'll start bringing in all the porn stars, and it'll be a great old time. Actually, I do know a few porn stars, but I just got to get them to get on the show, turn on the goddamn webcam, and show me some nice breast. Of course, we better watch it, because you see, Adrian Curry could get very angry with us during this show, and she could tell us that the show is about ghosts. Say it's about ghosts. Where does it say it's just about ghosts? It doesn't, and we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. This, my men, well, my ladies too, is internet radio. This is not just internet radio. This is AngelOfThyNight radio. It's not like you're calling George Norrie. You're like, oops, I said tits, and you get booted off the air, okay? You can call in and just say the word tits and hang up. Here, we're going to be running one of the coolest radio shows for years to come. There's no censorship. You do what the hell you want. As long as you follow the rules. Speak to me.
How's it going, Rick?
What's up?
Not much. Just thought I'd call in.
You got a question? What's your name, man?
I'm white trash.
Oh, okay. You're white trash.
I don't know. They said I shouldn't call in, so, I'm calling in to say hi.
What's up, man? I'm glad you called in. You got a question about the show or anything?
No, I listened to it last week. I wanted to know what Avatar was talking about last week. I couldn't find that shit.
Oh, okay, the Avatar thing. Well, Avatar had called in the show, and he was, talking about how he's gay, and he was going to send in fucking porn and gay porn.
Oh, he's a dirty furry.
Yeah, well, he said his name was that. He said, I'm Avatar X. And he called in the show a few times, and then the model, Adrian Curry, had banned him out of the room.
Yeah.
I mean, she actually removed him out. We don't know if it was the real Avatar, but he did sound kind of young. He did kind of sound young, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
anyways,
it was like...
Go on.
Anyways, as I was saying, that it probably wasn't, but it was just a whole thing that someone would actually call and pretending to be him. But yeah, you can listen to it. It's in part 2, man. It's in part 2 of the show.
It's in part 2?
All right, part 2 if you want to listen to it.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Cheers. Ophelia's a crackhead, by the way.
Yeah, man. A dirty rabbit. What's a dirty rabbit? Oh, I know what the dirty rabbit is. We're not going to get into the dirty rabbit conversation in this chat room. Some things are a little bit private here, okay? Nobody can know everything about the Lord. But anyways, I was going on in the Romania and Bulgaria and stuff, and there's a village out in the middle of bumfuck Egypt, and I guess the town has what they call vampire slayers, like, kind of like what Buffy is. And it says, the villagers said, for centuries we had to protect ourselves against these creatures by finding graves of the undead, risking our lives, ripping out their hearts, said some 68-year-old farmer named Tita Muska. Yes, his name is Tita. The village of the vampire slayers become a focus of a police investigation. The police were interested trying to find out what the fuck is going on. Not like they care, because they're probably in on it too. And why they were so fearful of the undead. They were trying to figure out what was making these people go to these graves and rip out the hearts. So anyways, it said the saga began when Peter Toma, 76 years old, was buried at the New Year. His nephew's family fell ill with an unexplained sickness, and a few days later, the witness had claimed to have seen Toma leaving their house before sunrise as a flock of crows flew around him overhead. Don't these fucking people think? It's a goddamn ghost. It ain't a vampire. Anyways, they said that he sucked the life from them so that he could live. And then they said we were all dying, and my husband and my child, and we saw him come to us in the same dream. So now they're saying he's coming to them in dreams. So these people, the villagers, get all angry and shit. Villagers are pissed off. Villagers are armed with hammers, chisels, pitchforks, homemade farm tools, all this shit. And 4 men, they're after the vampire's brother-in-law, they set out to the cemetery. They lifted the coffin lid. His arms were not on his chest where they had left him. His head was turned to the side and his lips were stained of dry blood. They took the coarse chest head and they opened it with a wooden stake and they stabbed it, removing the heart. It was full of fresh blood. His body relaxed. We heard him sigh, the villager said. The heart was burnt over embers of a fire. The ashes were stirred into a bottle of water from the village to make a potion. The vampire's victims recovered after drinking it. So now, basically, what's going on here is these people are goddamn fucking cannibals. Drinking, they're making potions out of it. And then investigators, they uncovered the evidence up to 20 vampires in a few years. And here's what happened. The police, instead of the police station arresting these people saying, hey, you're goddamn vandalizing the dead. You're playing with the goddamn dead. He says, I'd like to be able to say this village isn't unique, but unfortunately I can't, and I know how strong the belief it is in vampires around here. So in other words, they didn't get arrested. They did what the fuck they want, which is like in this fucking country. You go into a cemetery and you dig up a grave, you're going to jail. Okay, even if you tell the cops, whoa, man, I'm here to kill some goddamn vampires. The cops are going to look at you and say, you know what, we're going to put you in an institution. Of course, I'm going to be like, put me in the institution. Because I'll tell you what, I'm going to have sex with the mentally insane. All right? Just because they're mentally insane. Hey, we're all a little bit insane, right? But I mean, what the hell do you do if you're in an institution? You get locked up because of your beliefs. So they send Lord Rick to the institution. Yeah, I'm going to be bored out of my mind, twiddling my thumbs. No computer, no MySpace, no PS3. It's like, it's like, I'm going to have to coax these fucking nurses that work for the institution. That's right. So anyways, instead of putting these people in an institution saying, hey, you're crazy motherfuckers, they don't say they're crazy motherfuckers. The police are like, I commend you. I know you believe in vampires. It's okay if you want to drink the hearts of the dead. It's pretty fucking disgusting when you kind of think about it. It's like, here, I hope nobody makes a potion out of my fucking heart. I think that when I die, I don't think it's very wise I have a tombstone. Can you imagine, seriously, can you imagine these hate groups? They'd be trying to eat off my bones and shit. They'd be like, I'm going to have the power of see if the Lord resurrects and shit. No. I think I want to be blasted off into space. Put my body in outer space. Send it to Mars, Jupiter. Just don't keep it on Earth. That's a good idea. Well, doesn't matter what distance you're at. If you're a vampire and you want to suck the blood, you'll go anywhere. But anyways, that was an interesting vampire article I had went on over. Then I went into some castle history, and apparently Count Dracula's castle obviously stands. The name of it is called Hunadorara Castle or something. And I was looking at this castle, and the stats of it are totally amazing. And I guess it's a Gothic Renaissance type. In 1974, it was a museum. It was also an apartment complex. It was also abandoned for many years. They've also made it into a Gothic vampire type of nightclub, which is interesting. And, of course, what it has is effective towers, 4 circular ones, 3 rectangular ones. Vlad the Impaler also had the chapel built. He was Christian, believe it or not. A council's hall, a knight's hall. The tower had a winding staircase on the south side, which included house facilities. I mean, there was different add-ons over time. A lot of death has happened at this castle. People were actually butchered. That is probably one of my dream destinations. It really doesn't matter, but if I could ever go to a location it probably would be Dracula's castle. It is real. It does exist. I don't know. They were supposed to actually make it into a living area. I mean, it wasn't going to be just a castle. They put like 100 apartments in the goddamn thing. Can you imagine? It's like you go to like, hey, some girl asks you on a date. She's like, hey, where do you live, Rick? Oh, I just live over the hill. I live in goddamn Count Dracula's castle. Want to come over tonight for dinner? I mean, think about how that sounds. Nobody's going to want to come over to your place. Nobody's going to want to spend the night. You ain't going to get no pussy living in Count Dracula's castle. Okay? And everybody else living in Count Dracula's castle, sure, you're going to get some freaks. Okay? You're going to get women that are going to move in, and they're going to think that they're one of the fucking sisters. They're going to be like, hey, I'm the bride of Dracula. I live across the hall. Call me if you need anything. Well, it's like, yeah, I'll be fucking calling you all right. I sure can't get my girlfriends to come on over. Notice I say girlfriends because, it's every guy's dream to have more than one woman. And that is a lifestyle I've always practiced, is always having more than one girlfriend. Of course, the three know of each other. And that's just how I've done things because it's a very ancient practice. And, some women are cool with it and some women are just downright jealous. And, I'll tell you, if in the vampires, if you're going to be a real vampire, you better have a couple brides. Because, if one gets staked, you still got another bride to have some fun with. That's how you got to look at things, You got to take things with a sense of humor. And some people are just so serious in life. But anyways, this show has gotten really funny. And I did some research a little more, and they didn't just call him Vlad the Impaler. Actually, it was called Vlad the Devil. And it goes that, he ended up, I guess the thing started with revenge, His sons or some family members were taken as prisoner and they were executed. Obviously, when you lose family members or you lose friends, that's enough to set somebody off over the edge. And he actually took his revenge, and he invited a bunch of people around his round table, and discreetly he killed the guards and he impaled all the boyars. He also helped an army conquer the throne of Moldova, and he had punished the people who murdered Mircea, his older brother, forced them to work at the building of the castle. Obviously, he would, impale these people and execute them and torture them and do all kinds of cruel different things. Basically, what it wasn't that he was a vampire. What he was is he was fighting on vengeance. And he took his vengeance in a very sick manner. He would impale the heads. I mean, when people would walk up to the castle, there would be heads on stakes. And, of course, eventually he did take the throne back. I mean, this guy was a lord. This guy was a king. And, I've always been a Vlad the Impaler fan because, it's like, I think about, it's like we have such a civilized country. But, you go out in the Middle East, if you do something fucking wrong, they're going to fucking behead you. And that's the way it should go down. You should be fucking beheaded. You fucking go around doing something fucking you're not supposed to fucking be. Like, you go kill someone's family. You deserve to be beheaded. You don't deserve to go to prison and be fed fucking cake and fucking mashed potatoes and steak. I mean, back then, Vlad the Impaler took justice upon himself, and he impaled his... I mean, he didn't just kill him. He didn't kill him. He made a statement. And, of course, what made him a very mystical or legendary figure in our history is that when he was murdered by the Boyars and the Turks, which they obviously were in, at today's Istanbul, or the Constantinople, his beheaded body was buried on the holy island of Snagov. They felt that if they buried him there, he could do no evil. They say he was buried either inside the church, probably in the flooring or the walls, or at least next to it. When they did archaeological research in 1929 to 1931, they had found no traces of bones, just wolf bones. In other words, nobody knows what happened to Vlad the Impaler. I mean, some people have actually spotted him after his death. that's technically a very good portion of where the vampirism had came around. And, you know, I'll tell you, I'm stoned, so I really cannot read much of the chat room, and it's probably good that I don't. So I will just close out the chat room and continue to talk about vampires and its history. But the vampire culture existed for many years. The Gothic people, which I'm sure some of you are Gothic or into that. I'm into Gothic music. I love dark music. I like some hardcore shit too, you know. I like heavy metal and all that kind of stuff. And you know, it doesn't matter what people think. You know, there's nothing wrong with good music. Mike Digital does great music. And, you know, I'm glad most of my friends have actually been involved as musicians, and so I'm very much into the music. I am not inclined to play an instrument or a guitar or anything like that. I suffer from carpal tunnel, my knuckles lock up and things like that, and I'm a pretty beat up man. But, you know, people that can do music are definitely talented. There's a lot of good vampire music out there. I get this radio program on my AOL, and you can listen to vampire music all day long. And sometimes I'll play it, and I will get stoned, and I'll work on my book, and I'll do my sends, and I'll talk with my friends. Shit's the bomb. It's awesome. But every culture had studied vampires. The ancient Greeks had stories of vampire creature, and that wasn't called a vampire creature. It was called Lamaya. And it attacked children, it drank their blood. Ghouls in the Arabian Night stories have the match vampire descriptions. Chinese vampires were called Chiang Shi. Vampires show up in India. They were called Vedas. Mesoamericans, especially the Mayans and Aztecs, have their own versions of vampires. There is even a possible vampire in the Old Testament called Lilith, who is described in the Hebrew text. The word vampire apparently comes from a Hungarian word, and it basically means a spirit who feasts upon the living. In English terms, oh, excuse me, I'm belching. Oh well, who gives a fuck? Anyways, the Hungarian word for spirits who feast upon the living, it means vampire, but it's not really spelled the proper way. It's spelled V-A-M-P-Y-R. It's a spelling I like to use. I had a couple hate groups mock me out because I use that spelling a lot more often. Of course, if they actually did a little research in history, they would know this. And basically, it's the concept of a monster rave to feast on the blood of humans. Seems ridiculous to modern man, but, you know, the world was much more mysterious. The Dark Ages were a mysterious time. Back then, scientific and medical knowledge, they didn't understand vampire diseases. Nowadays, we have a better grasp on it. Werewolves, vampires, whatever. But I guess back in the day, what would happen is, in the medieval times, that they would dig up burial grounds to reuse the consecrated grounds for new burials. They would also bury their garbage with the bones. The bones of the disinterred often were cleaned and moved to the quarries. They were piled with bones of others gone. Basically, they were desecrating them, and then they would form, like the catacombs under Paris. Those are full of bones from reused grave sites, and I bet you'll not know. And, you know, the whole thing is, well, I would like to announce something special to the chat room. I am going to be going to Europe. It's probably going to be in a couple years. I'm going to probably do the Paris catacombs. Yeah, I am in the chat. Hold on a second. You know, it's very important to keep the peace during the chat room. And, you know, everybody needs to get along. If it's not for the sake of each other, it's at least for the sake of me. And, you know, the only way friendship is made is with peace. You know, I hate to say this, but since 2001, I've been running an organization. You know, I like to think of myself as a well-known guy. You know, obviously now I got a book out, I got the show, I got all these other projects going on. I'm in other authors' books. And, you know, I realize that the only way this works for everybody is when everybody gets along. You know, there's so many hate groups that hate me out. I mean, they despise me. And they don't realize it's like, You know, when you explore a place together, you get more done. When you advertise for each other, you help each other out. It's not a competition, you know. And of course, over the years, I've dealt with a lot of I can't even say it, hostility towards other ghost groups because we're a little bit different how we do our investigating and our protocols and the beliefs that we share with the public. But everybody's going to be different. Nobody's going to be perfect. And you know, the thing is that everybody needs to get along and work together. You know, even if they don't agree, because at one time, because I was a paranormal investigator, a lot of urban explorers looked down on me. And they didn't just understand that, you know, I like to explore too. And I wanted them to realize that I like the same things that they like. We all, in this room, we all either like the paranormal, or we're skeptical of it, or we want to learn about it, or we want to urban explore, or we want to learn safety, urban exploring, or history, or we want a good laugh. And that's what we're all here for, is to share those things. We're all here to have a good laugh and a good time. And, you know, this coffee, I need more of. I definitely need more coffee, Mike. Wow. And, smoke, and, a couple more pills would be nice, too. But anyways, I just want to say, you know, everybody needs to get along. You know, I never out to impress anybody. Got to be me, even when I do my shows. But anyways, the Paris Catacombs is a trip I'm making. I can't tell you when. You know, it's so tough right now. I pay for my own site. My kids are getting older. It's getting more expensive to raise them. You know, gas prices to travel every week. It adds up. But if I get some money off my books, I will probably buy a round-trip ticket, and I'm probably going to go to Paris, and I'm going to go in the catacombs. The catacombs are pretty cool, but they don't allow you to go. Well, they do, but it's at your own risk. You can go past they have tunnels that go down deeper or off to the sides, but the problem is a lot of people go in there and they get lost and they die. So you got to mark your trails, or you got to be a goddamn good explorer. That's the type of thing I would take probably urban explorers with me, not paranormal investigators, because I would take them because they have the safety knowledge to survive in dark environments. They're able to track their territory, and, you know, it's a very dangerous type of exploration. And those bones from this vampire era are down in these catacombs. Of course, you know, they put piles of bones in wagons. They drag them out there, and they put them in. Well, the workers, when they were digging up these cemeteries, would found signs of activity after burial. Scratch marks on the lids from coffins. Bodies changed their position. This was because back then, when you buried a body, they buried the entire body, and the gases would cause it to explode, and the body would turn and move. You know, it's like a body can move in the mortuary if the body's dead. Very few people know this because the gas is in the body. Also, very few of you know this, but back then they would bury people who were in comas. People, let's say you get knocked out. Let's say you got stoned. I'm not talking about stoned with marijuana, but let's say you get stoned and, you know, you get passed out or whatever the case is. They would bury you, man. Be buried. It's horrible. So, you know, you wake up scratching at the coffin. That's a horror story. I mean, how many of you would want to be buried alive? Think about it. And, you know, then there's stories in the media surface about people who woke up just before the autopsy or were delivered to mortuary only to revive after preparations were under the way. I mean, these are facts, man. It's the real facts. Buried alive. And, of course, buried alive led to a number of customs back then that persist to this day. After a person died, relatives would gather at a house. They'd do the prayer vigil and watch over the body, which was held in front of, you know, the living rooms and the parlors. They didn't use funeral parlors. That's why a lot of old houses are haunted. The practice of watching over the body was the idea of holding awake. Wake is the word watch. Another explanation for the word, which of course is widely circulated, is that people would wait for the deceased to wake up. Of course, chances are once you're dead, you're dead. And, you know, basically, The simplest thing to do today would be, they said, to bury people with fully charged cell phones. I laugh because you ain't going to get a goddamn signal underground. And I'm reading this article, and I know because I took a cell phone into a cave a couple years ago. We didn't get no signal. If the cave collapsed, that's it. We're dead. We're goners. That's the risk I take. And, of course, some scholars have cited this as an origin of the term saved by the bell, when people would wake up and run a string from the coffin with the bell at the surface. If the person awakened, all they do is pull the string. If the person woke in the middle of the night, there would be no one to hear it, and this problem was solved eventually by hiring village boys back in the day who would sit in the graveyard a couple days after burial to listen for ringing. The boys were said to be working the graveyard shift. Can you imagine that shit? You got to sit in a cemetery at night, and it is interesting to think about. And then the gravediggers may have noticed that disinterred bodies is that the hair and nails appeared to have grown and their teeth seemed longer. So, of course, the vampire legend came to life. And, of course, it was mistaken for the undead. Such growth was a normal result of tissue shrinkage and decomposition. I don't know. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of people actually dying and growing hair and fucking nails. That's like saying, hey, I'm going to die and grow some goddamn titties. What the fuck? That's like saying, hey, I'm going to die, fuck the penis pump. I'm going to die and I'm going to grow 12 fucking inches, man. That's what that's like. But anyways, I'm back. Actually, that was now live technical error. You know, it's kind of funny because, you know, we do this radio show, and sometimes the problem's on my end, but then other times it's on Now Live's end where it just disconnects us or we lose the signal. You know, it happens. But anyways, I'm back. The only problem is that, you know, each time we do this, we got to join the shows together, which is a little bit difficult if you don't know how to use various sound programs, because we like to put the show all together eventually when we put it on our website. Yeah, ladies, show your tits. What the hell? What he likes to see. But anyways, yes, goths are pretty cool, and the Gothic culture is a very beautiful culture. And, you know, the whole thing about it is very few people realize that it is based on vampires and such. And I would like to see everybody get along in the chat room. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, the mysterious diseases that came about were like bubonic plague, or it's called the hemorrhagic virus. And that started stories because both of them resulted in horrible bloody deaths. It wasn't even vampires that had anything to do with it. And, you know, if the mysterious death came on the heels of a stranger visiting town, we say, let's say they bring in the infection, that person was accused of being a vampire. I mean, you know, here's the situation. A stranger comes into your village, a few days later he gets sick and dies. Bleeds from the mouth. Strange pustules on his body. The villagers bury him in the local cemetery. A few days later, another person gets sick. They die, blood in the mouth. Then another and another with no knowledge about the disease. And, you know, it's obvious that these people back in this culture said evil forces are at work, that a stranger is the culprit, that he's a vampire. And, you know, and then, of course, the local priest would come in and they'd burn the huts, the victims, they'd pour holy water on them, and they said fire would cleanse the evil spirits. And everyone knows that, you know, you can't kill a vampire with fire, supposedly. And, of course, we know that fire would destroy the source of the germs, which is true. And then they'd say that they got rid of the vampires. But actually, it was the fire that was killing off the bacteria when they burned the villages. And, of course, that disorder I was talking about that I had, that's the disease that was affecting a lot of these people back then. And, of course, they started to get the idea that a vampire could be killed by driving a stake in the heart, because the heart was a source of life. And, of course, then it started with a vampire's allergic reaction to sunlight, which can be traced to the light sensitivity of the disease. You know, it's just that simple. We don't know if they exist. We don't have enough proof. Just like the idea that vampires are repelled by garlic may come from the time of Black Death, when the stench of the bodies of the victims became overwhelming, people would suspend cloves of garlic around their neck to block out the smell. And of course, the smell of the decomposing victims that spread the disease, blocking the smell could prevent the plague by wearing the garlic around the neck to repel the vampires. Do you see the connection I'm trying to get at right now? It is pretty interesting, and I hope that everybody is still in the room. We're actually getting a lot of good listeners tonight. I'm just wondering if a certain someone's in my room still, and if anybody wants to call in the show. I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to close up the show unless anybody wants to call in. If Christy would like to also call in the show or whatever and say hi, because I know you're still probably in the chat room, I would definitely appreciate it, as much as Millie too. Because like I said, I do like good questions. I'm going to go on break right now. I'm going to spark up the rest of this joint, and when I get back, we'll close up the show. Okay? And fucking tits, well, I'm working on the tits, white trash. Bear with me, I'm working on it. We'll see what we can do for tonight, but, you know, the show's pretty new. Well, actually, it's been around for a while now. It's just a matter of finding the right porn stars, I guess, to join the room. Anyways, we are going on break. I will be back in about 2 minutes. This is AngelOfThyNight Radio. back. I was just playing a song here on my radio. Obviously, just heard the song. It's actually from Incubus Succubus. It's it's a Gothic song. And anyways, I've seen we've had quite a lot of live listeners tonight. What does everybody need to know? Okay, whatever. I don't care. I'm stoned. Whatever's going on, I don't care. I just, like I said, I want everybody to have a good time, and that's all that matters. Tits? You know what? Tits are tits to me. That's what the point is of going on webcam. It's to show your tits. I'm cool with it. I'm not one of these guys. I mean, hey, if my girlfriend or my lady friend or whatever wants to show her tits, let her show her tits. I got tits too, but pecs. Pectoral, guys, all right, not tits. Oh, shit. I'm telling you, I'm ripped. I don't think I've ever felt better in my life. I went in for about 3 weeks ago. I had gone in for surgery, and I had work done on my, I had my wisdom tooth, upper wisdom tooth and bottom wisdom tooth going on. And the bottom tooth broke into a bunch of pieces, actually in half, and the top tooth had, I must be stoned. Am I seeing things? This might be our first set of tits in a chat room, guys. Our first fucking set of tits on the AngelOfThyNight Paranormal radio show. Now, guys, ladies and gentlemen, just tell me who the man is. Because, see, I am the man. At least right now, tonight. And if when I get stoned, and tomorrow I do a little saltwater fishing with a joint in my mouth, I'll be the man, too. Because even though I was kicked off the Cape, guys, I am going to Cocoa Beach tomorrow. And I can watch the space shuttle, and there's nothing they can fucking do about it. And, wow. I really like this show. What do you think, Mike? Do you like this show? It's kind of hard to do the show when you got boobs on webcam. But I will tell you something. I enjoy doing the show, and I welcome any female callers who want to call in. If you'd like to flash your boobs tonight, it's boobs. The guys want to see them, the girls want to see them. It's all good fun. And the nice thing about being in the chat room is you can turn on your webcam and you can pretty much do whatever you want. I mean, you're on webcam, you're not posting the Now Live, so it's fully legal. And, of course, I am so stoned, I don't think I will ever forget them breasts, those beautiful breasts on webcam. I'll tell you, sweetheart, those are some nice breasts. You could actually grace a magazine. I could photograph you, honey, and I can put you in a magazine. You'll make it as a centerfold. You'll be rich. And then we can go out and we can travel all over the place and look around for paranormal things. Hey, you know what they say about tits, okay? Yeah, I make movies, but I think I need a moment of silence here. I got to think about things. I got to think about what I'm going to do the show on next. Tits or vampires? What do you guys think? But anyways, if anybody wants to call on the show, go ahead and give me a call before I wrap it up. It looks like the show is getting a little more interesting. The nice thing is that we can put people on webcam and they don't even have to be present, like in my studio, which obviously I run the studio out of my house. How many people run a radio at their house? I can sit here and I can lounge back in bed and do the radio show. That's what I need to do. I need to get a couple girls here. I got a webcam. I'll turn on my webcam, and we'll have the girls go at it, and I'll just put the webcam on while I'm doing the show. I think I'm going to do a show like that in the future when I get to California. What does everybody think? A live peep show while I'm going on about vampires and ghosts and everything else. Yeah, go ahead, Millie, and call in the chat room. You know, I also would like to do a little promoting, and I'd like to promote my friend's group, Rob Duffy. He runs Massachusetts Urban Exploring. Just type it in. You'll come across the site. And I want to promote him because he's my friend. And I also want to promote Mike Digital. He has done such a wonderful job with the theme music. You know, he's really helped that organization a lot. So make sure you come out, digitalphotography.com. Make sure you put, instead of the G, put the J's. But if you need a link, just email me and I'll give you a link. And you can join this forum, which is really kicking. I mean, honestly, you know, I run a lot of Paranormal, but his forum is actually very good because all the members are active. And, you know, the people are pretty friendly. I mean, everybody's pretty nice on there. And so, you know, I'm starting to make a lot of friends through there. So, you know, it's a good forum. And I commend him for the work he's done. And, you know, I'm not ass-kissing. I know what it's like to be a leader. I know what it's like to be able to run the show. It's a very hard job. And it does take a lot of work. So, you know, like I said, he's helped out the show. So, you know, make sure you give him a thanks because, you know, everything that I do in the future, I'm trying to work with people, you know. We want to be able to investigate with other groups, explore with other groups. You know, we want to be able to advertise for other groups because they'll do the same for us. And it's all good. Everybody wins. And that's the way it works out. And, you know, and if you're just tuning in live to the show, you'll see that some of you guys got the Mardi Gras flash. This is the Angel of the Night radio show. Mardi Gras tonight. Vampire Mardi Gras. The Vampire Masquerade. See, what you need, Millie, is you need to put on this little mask. Kind of, you know, this like, so you can leave a little bit of mystery to it. They have those Mardi Gras masks, you know, with the feathers and all that. And a few years ago, when I was doing my paranormal organization parties, I had one of these parties where it was called Paranormal Ghost Society Mardi Gras so-and-so. You know, and my ex-girlfriend back then, she was a fucking bimbo. She was drunk off her ass, walking around my house wearing a mask and shit. I'm wearing the mask, but I'm just like, hey, I ain't gonna get fucked up. I'm getting myself a threesome tonight. And, of course, you know, she was all ripped. And we've actually had Mardi Gras parties. We had beads for the girls that were showing their tits. We had all kinds of fucking shit. I had food. It was a blast. And you know what? Nobody showed. I'm going to tell you why nobody showed. Nobody showed because look where I live. Okay, I'm in the goddamn sticks. Yeah, you know, I got Orlando and Daytona near me, but I still live in the sticks. So who the fuck's going to come to my party? They're like, DeLand. The fuck is DeLand? Hickville? So nobody showed to the party, really. I think one person came. And she definitely was not, I mean, worth any three-way fun. It was like, no. And, you know, I'll tell you, we've had some wild and crazy parties. And that's what this radio show is about, man. It's about a party. Girls flashing. Oh, I ain't busy. I'm right here. A prize? I got your prize right here, baby. Well, the thing is, I ain't got the webcam rolling, so you can't see the prize. I got all these fucking cords hooked up to my computer. I don't even think I got a port open for my webcam right now. You'll have to wait and find. You'll have to wait and see what your prize is when I get to California. But if I know Millie, her fantasy would probably be a very dark Gothic type of place. Yeah. We'll say some Gothic type of cemetery with the moonlight. No, the night of an eclipse. Yeah, we'll get the eclipse going on. Now, that would be the type of eyes I could give you. Look at this. This is like paranormal love connection. Any better than this? Well, I don't know. She says the dungeon, about less than a year ago, there's this girl I was talking to on the internet, all right? She says to me, I said, who the fuck are you? You know, we start talking. She says, well, I'm a submissive. She goes, I'm a slave. I get on my fucking hands and knees. You whip me, you beat me, you kick me in the ass, you fuck me, you do whatever you want to me. So I kept asking this girl to meet for 6 months. Well, one night I get the call. She says, come on over. She goes, control me, Rick. Control me, Lord. So, you know, I'm getting called fucking Lord and shit. I'm at her house. She's like, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Hi, Lord. You know, screaming my goddamn name, Lord Rick. I get to her goddamn house. There's like 3 other broads living there. She's like, you can choose me or you can choose all of us. I'm thinking, am I in fucking heaven here or what? You know, so I'm sitting there. She's got a fucking dungeon. She's got like fucking machines hanging off the ceiling, fucking cuffs dangling, goddamn dildos all over the place. I'm like, what the fuck did I get myself into this time? You be my slave any day, baby. You can get on your knees, too. And that's the type of slave like, the slaves that are on their knees. Of course, this slave was on her knees. And, you know, this girl ran a fucking dungeon, and they're just sitting there thinking, I'm thinking, how the hell do I get myself in these situations? I'm always getting myself in these weird situations, you know? I'm fucking, this girl's got toys. She asked me to beat her ass and everything else, so I'm beating the girl's ass, and I'm like, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm the founder of the Paranormal Ghost Society. I'm beating your fucking ass, you know? It's like we go on investigations. I'm always looking for an ass to fucking beat. But I get to fucking go to some dungeon and beat some ass, and I'm not even in the goddamn cemetery doing it, you know? So, just these weird people in Florida. You know, and all of a sudden, I'm in the room, you know, I get done beating her ass, some dude walks in. She goes, oh, this is my master. It's like, well, he's your master, Lord, what the fuck's going on here, you know? So I'm like, okay, I gotta go, man. I gotta, you know, I get dressed, run out the door, I'm running for my life. I don't think I ever went to that dungeon again, you know? But the Lord Rick's dungeon, that's a little bit different. It's gonna have tons of girls, and we're gonna just put them on live cam. We're live on cam, making out at the AngelOfThyNight Paranormal Radio Show. That's what we're gonna fucking do. But anyways, if you want to call in, Millie, I'm sure that some people would like to hear your voice tonight. You're always a wanted caller. I get people that write me who listen to the show later on. They're like, we enjoyed Millie on the air. We want to hear more of Millie. So call on in and feel free to talk. French maid? I love French maids. Well, you know, there's nothing sexier in life than when a girl is a goddamn fucking devil, French maid, or nurse. You know, and I'll tell you what. If I'm going to sit here and run a paranormal show, I need a co-host that can sit here maybe with me down the road. Dress like a French maid, which I think Millie should be it. And we could turn on the fucking cam and, hey, we could have a party, you know? Smoke, have French maid walking around. I could put the camera on the French maid. This could be a great fucking show. Topless, a French maid that's topless. And, you know, then I could start up my own little company. It could be called the Paranormal Porn Incorporated, you know. I'll wear a goddamn fucking sheet chasing the fucking French maid. We'll have the fucking someone dressed as a goddamn fucking butler running around dressed like a fucking alien. The fucking, yeah, man. Alien, Paranormal Ghost Society. Debbie does alien. Debbie does fucking Bigfoot. Casper does Bigfoot. This could be some good shit. Yeah, exactly. You know, I'll tell you, I seriously hope, quit sucking on things. You're driving me wild. I'm sure that's a huge tease to the guys of the chat room. You know, and I'll tell you, tonight's been a great show, even though I've gotten cut off 3 times. 2 times were on my end, 1 time was on Now Live. It's like, but, you know, for those who are just tuning in now, if you ever see me get cut off, just hold on. I can actually log right back into the show and just get it going on again. It's not a big deal. It just makes more work for me when I gotta go and I gotta take the whole broadcast and put it all together. It's like, whoa, you know. But anyways, I think Millie is calling in the show. Underwear? Mike, some girls don't wear underwear. I was in Vegas once. Well, I was in Vegas for a few years. And this girl that runs this fucking escort agency says, let's go grab a beer. Comes over in her muscle fucking car. I'm like, hey, this chick rocks. This chick's got a muscle car. Bends down to pet my pussy cat, of course. Fucking, I look up her skirt. She's got a big old fucking bush, man. Big old bush. I'm just like sitting there thinking to myself, what the hell's going on here? Some women don't wear no underwear. That's just a fact. My mentally insane Aunt Nancy never wore any underwear either. She used to lick the fucking plates and had hair on her fucking chin. Jesus Christ, it's hard to believe I come from a family like that. You know, makes you wonder. Like, here this guy's running a show, here this guy's got some books going on. Is he fucking crazy? How do you unblock a call? Help her out, guys. How does Millie unblock the call? Do you want to... I don't know. I'm not quite sure how you'd unblock a telephone call when you call in the show. I'm trying to think. Star 86? Yeah, it's star 86, not number 86. Star 86 might work. It might be different for every phone company. I use Embark. And I'll tell you what, they are a weird... Star 82, they're the weirdest service ever because I called up about my DSL modem one day to get it connected. Some guy wanted to sit on the phone and talk with me for like an hour, man. Just talk. It's like, what do you do for a living? I'm a paranormal investigator. Well, you know, I am the main man here at Embark. I'm going to hook you up. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a deal, half off, you buy our fucking modem, you know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, dude, do you smoke one? We get together, we smoke. You know, this is the kind of shit that happens to me in life. And, you know, I'll tell you, I get myself in these weird situations. And as you can see, I'm very excited to move to California because, you know, for me it's exciting. It's something new. It's drive on to California. Oh, we have a call. Can you hear me? Testing,
yes.
1, 2, 3. Oh, awesome.
Hi.
I'll tell you, if you keep flashing me like you've been doing, I'm just going to have to fly to California now and see it up close and personal, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But,
So
let me ask you a question. What do you think about all this vampire shit I was talking about tonight?
Well, I think it's very interesting. I love studying about vampires, and I've done research on that before. I like doing research in the paranormal, so I do have some information about that. And some people believe the first vampire was Lilith, which is from biblical, a long time ago. Like, they think she was the first woman who ever lived. And this goes back to the of Eden, too. And it's so funny to be so serious in and I'm all topless. That's kind of weird, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's very interesting. And so did we decide, do we believe in vampires or not? I don't know.
Well, do you believe in vampires?
There's so many vampires mentioned in mythology. And usually, I mean, so many different cultures have vampires that they believe in. It's kind of strange if all cultures have their own versions of vampires. That's kind of, it tells you something. There's something there. I know there are vampires now, but there are, there are people who are, why do they call themselves the human living vampires? Who are either, what are they called? I know because Anton LaVey spoke about them. I forgot.
Psychic vampires?
Yeah, psychic vampires are one of them, but also there's another word, which is the sanguinarians, from Latin sanguis, which, blood drinkers who just like to drink blood. So there's those kind of vampires, and there are clubs, very exclusive clubs that you can visit. And there's people who they have a host, and the host drinks the blood from the willing participants, which is kind of dangerous. People can get diseases from that. But also psychic vampires are the ones that do exist, and they're, I think, a little healthier than drinking blood from people. But other than that, I mean, I know you were talking about Elizabeth Reeve.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Let's see. There is a creature called the Upir from like a very long time ago. And the first one ever mentioned was in like 1047 in Russia. But people knew about that before 1047, and it's people believe it comes from a Turkish word for witch, basically. It's like a vampire-like creatures. And there are also creatures in China. There is a hopping corpse.
Mm-hmm.
That one consumes life, the life essence of people. Doesn't consume blood. So China has their own. India they have their own type of vampire. One, it's called the I can't speak Hindu, but Hindi. Brahmara Shasa, something like that. And one of the vampires that they believe in is Bitala. That's a kind of vampire that they supposedly live in corpses, and like the westernized bat vampire, they believe that they're found upside down in trees and cemeteries. So India has their own version of vampires too, and the Romans had one called Strix. The Romanian one is called Strigoi. And we all know, we're talking about Vlad Dracula, right? Vlad Tepes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now a lot of myth on that. I do like the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, but I don't know if he was really a vampire. But there is a story, let's see, in Prussia. That's when there was a mass hysteria back then. It's the 1700s. People just started believing that vampires were everywhere, and it started with a man called Peter Plogojewicz, who died and 6 years later he appeared. And the story goes that he went back to his son's house and asking for food. And there was a soldier there sitting at the table with the family. When the father came, he knocked on the door, he walked in, and he sat down. And the son, actually, I'm sorry, the head of the house, the son, he fed him, and then the whole family, they went to sleep. But the man stayed with the strange man who came one night. And the next morning, he was found dead. The head of the house was found dead, and when the soldier asked what happened, the wife told the soldier that the man who came over that night was actually his father, who died 6 years ago. And it's believed that the man was found dead, sucked dry of blood. So then the soldier with his other soldier comrades, they went to the cemetery and they unburied his grave, and then they found the man who killed his son, who sucked his blood. They found him pretty much in perfect condition. He had blood all over his mouth, and they nailed him they put a stake across his heart, which is actually not. It's not just a stake that kills a vampire. It was believed that a stake would nail him to the ground, so he wouldn't get up again. Because the belief of vampire is that once they die, the ground won't accept their body. So they're neither alive, but they're neither dead. So they're like in limbo. So they just stake him to the ground.
Stuck between time, right?
And they cut off his head. And there are other stories like that in the 1700s. Really strange things happening, but people believe that there were vampires there, and people were going crazy. They were desecrating graves. They were beheading corpses. And that stopped later on with, I believe it was the Empress, I forgot her name right now, Empress Maria Theresa of Austria. She's the one who, she assigned people to investigate everything that was going on, and they finally decided to stop. She stopped. They found there was no vampires. It was like a big hysteria, and they stopped the whole craziness of beheading corpses.
Right,
so that's very interesting.
And tearing out the heart and all.
Yeah, people are just crazy. And also, something people don't realize, they didn't realize back then, was that when someone died, the body gets broken, and blood comes out of their mouth. And obviously, if you're an ignorant person back then, if you see a corpse like that who's been dead for a while, and they want to know that naturally they're going to be bloated, naturally blood's going to come out. It's going to look like they just drank blood. So people didn't realize that. And, nails keep growing when someone dies, and the hair keeps growing. So that's just back then. And you were mentioning psychic vampires, different kind of vampires. Let's see. I heard there was also psychotic vampires. Have you heard of those?
Yeah, actually what it is a person who's fucked in the head and says, hey, I'm goddamn Vlad the Impaler. I'm going to fucking bite your neck because I'm almighty, I've heard of Lord Ricks. But some people have told me in the past that I'm a psychic vampire, and I am a very, well, you know this from learning about me and spending time talking to me. I'm a very powerful, energetic person. So my energy does drain a lot of people in a room. I have the ability to, remove energies out of people. I can make somebody very sick, technically, if I wanted. And as silly as that sounds, I one time worked at this office with a couple guy friends of mine, and the one guy sat in my chair the one day, and he got up and passed out, and he grabbed his head and goes, "Whoa!" I said, "What's wrong?" He goes, "I'm in the metaphysics." He says, "I'm into the occult," and he goes, "I can do anything with energy." He says, he said, "Rick, you're very draining." He goes, "Are you a psychic vampire?" He goes, "Because that's what you feel like." And I thought that was very weird at the time until some of my investigators told me that they feel like they've lost energy being with me. So yes, psychic vampirism does exist, definitely.
Some people just don't know that they have those powers, and some people do. So, and there's also ways to protect yourself from psychic vampires too. Yeah, we all do. Just people don't realize what the mind can do. So yeah, it's true. We're stuck in the material world so much that we really ignore what's the reality of what's out there.
I'm not stuck in the material world, okay? I mean, what I mean by that is, I seen boobs tonight, all right? You're the first one to show, you're the first set of breast on our show, and it is really an honor. It truly is an honor because, we try to keep the show open, and, we try to get people to do things that are open-minded, of course, because that's the type of show it is. It's, but anyways, as Mike said about being distracted, yeah, I'm very distracted right now. So I'll let you continue to talk and give input on what I said about, like, for example, the Vampire Slayers. Do you believe that that's acceptable, or?
No.
Because, it is kind of desecration.
Yeah, that's it stopped. I'm sure there's people who still feel that, there's all kinds of people in the world. Probably people who still feel they have to go around and desecrating and killing everyone. But actually, the sanguinarian vampires who have those clubs that I was telling you about, they're kind of dangerous. There was a story of a reporter for a newspaper. It was a big story. I don't know. I think it happened in New York, so you might know it. But she went underground to report on the secret vampires, like the actual living human blood-sucking vampires. And she was found dead later on because they found out she was doing a story, and she was going to talk about their lifestyle, and they did. Yeah, that's really sad. You want
to know something? About a week ago, a vampire cult contacted me up in California, asking me to join their secret society. And I thought to myself, I was like, your secret society? How about the Paranormal and Ghost Society? I was thinking, it's like, you wait till you enter my fucking society, I'll turn your whole world upside down, This guy's like, join my vampire fucking cult. We are one. We're going to rule the world. It's like, no, you're not going to rule the fucking world. It's like, they're out there. It's dangerous sometimes. It is. I don't want to fucking go. I wouldn't mind going to a Gothic club. But, the reason why I would go is because I like the dark music that's out there. There's a lot of good bands like Cruise Shadows and Delirium, and there's a lot of great Gothic bands, and so I like to listen to Gothic music. But it's a great place if you're into having more than one woman at the same time, which, obviously I would go there and have a few women at the same time. That's the whole idea about vampirism. It's lusty. It's about passion, lust, power. That it's the power of standing in a room and making that whole room do you will. So the sex, the Gothic culture to it, and the vampirism practices are all really intertwined together. if you really if you get real philosophical about it. And I've dealt with this kind of stuff. Being a paranormal investigator, a lot of people emailing me and being like, join our vampire cult, we'll have you be our leader. It's like you got to be serious. If I'm your leader, what's the benefits of this? I get all the vampire women? I better fucking get on board with that one. That's a win-win situation. Sit around and just have like 5 women just clawing and biting at you. Well, wait, that kind of sounds scary and painful. I could deal with a little bit of nibbling, but biting, I don't know. Do you bite? Do you bite?
I could, yes. I'm going to see. It's, okay, I plead the fifth. There we go. Maybe.
Maybe?
Put that way. No.
Maybe it's very vague. Probably depending on which cemetery you're in, right? I did go to a Gothic cemetery recently. When I went to Savannah. There's a Gothic cemetery up in Savannah. It was in a bad ghetto neighborhood, and I climbed a fucking tree to get in, okay? And I got snagged on the tree. And it's one of the creepiest Gothic cemeteries. If I could go back to Savannah, I would bring you, and we would just, I don't even have words for it on this show, okay? It's a cool Gothic place, but a lot of vampire type of people hang there. It's the type of place it is. The vampires are against God, but yet the vampires are the one that goes on holy ground, going to cemeteries.
Yeah.
So it's like the two just don't match unless the belief is intertwined with vampires. Maybe like in the Bible, and it's an ancient book. I don't believe in it, but it does mention something close to a vampire. So maybe there is something else going on besides a disease. Maybe there is some truth to this.
Yeah, just like there are zombies. So
that's technically what it is. They're dead to the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about the voodoo zombies from the Caribbean. I was studying about that the other day, and I was like, wow, I didn't know there were real voodoo zombies in the world. So, you never know. There's so many things.
Oh.
I think yeah.
Millie, somebody in our chat room was asking Gothic cemetery. It's actually Gothic architecture. The design of the stones, a lot of the graves have that sort of architecture. It's not that a goth is buried there. Well, you never know, but still, that's exactly what I was trying to elaborate on. But yeah, I mean, going to the Gothic club is very safe, Millie. But if you get involved in the underground vampire clubs, some people are found dead, and sometimes they find the people with no blood in them, which means that somebody drank the blood, or somebody took the blood and did something with it. So it's either a disease or it is a truth. It might be true. I've heard a lot of reports from members of our society. That's how I get my information. It's my people that write me anonymously across the world. And I've heard of a few cases like this. One of my members wrote me privately one time, said she was driving down a road at night and seen something that was like vampire-like with giant wings, and it fucking looked at her. And she was down a dark, abandoned road. And this is like up in Georgia or something, or South Carolina. Well, so, maybe creatures are real. I cannot say all I can do is keep an open mind. I hear cases of disease, but I also hear cases of other weird things that don't match the disease. Bite marks in the neck, loss of blood. Underground vampire clubs are sometimes cults and do sacrifices because they think that they're gaining more power by drinking the blood.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, I heard that actually people ingest blood for energy, though.
Oh, yeah. There's protein in it. It's protein. I mean, it's good for you to drink blood. Some people, the Indians, used to drink deer blood. It's good for you. A lot of protein in it. But human blood, I've had people that have wanted to drink my blood. It's like, I don't know about that. I mean, suck on me, nibble me a little bit, but please don't drain my blood. Like, I wonder how that date would go. But I've had dates like that.
Wow. Well,
I met these girls. I met this girl that wanted to drink my blood. So you got to be careful. But I mean, it has happened. I have met people of every culture online in the last 7 years. You know, people who've said they are vampires. I have yet to see somebody prove that they can do the things a vampire says. Levitate, fly.
Yeah.
I have to see proof. I can be skeptical. I have an open mind, but I'm very skeptical with it.
Yeah.
Because the Gothics are going around. They're ruining it.
Sorry. How would they know they're descendants of, like, you know, the girl you were talking about from Count Dracula? And I don't know. He wasn't even a count, right?
Who wasn't?
Oh, no, the girl who we were talking about.
Oh.
Was that she was a descendant of Count Dracula or something.
Yeah,
I don't know how you define it. You had to do blood work.
She said she was related to him.
Yeah, but you just never know. I mean, first of all, she calls him a count, and he wasn't a count. He was a count in the book. The fictional book, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and he was a count in the book, but in real life, Vlad Stepish was a prince of Wallachia. So, and his father was a prince too, and I think he was one of the last princes of the area.
Yeah, he was.
So I don't know. So that's why I was saying, I don't know. If someone tells me that I'm a descendant of Count Dracula, I'll be like, yeah.
Do you know what they call? You know what? Do you know what the Paranormal Ghost Society members call me?
What?
They call me Prince of Darkness.
Really?
They call me the Prince of Darkness. Yeah. I said, you fucking people. I said, you fucking members. You don't donate. You don't post. You don't help me with paranormal investigations. You don't help me explore. I'm going on and on. I'm like, fine. You think I'm the Prince of Darkness, so Halloween came along, I got to dress like the devil. And I hated the glue that was on the horns, so I used real glue. And I glued the horns on my head, and the horns wouldn't fucking come off.
Oh, yeah.
So I had, like, permanent horns. I had, like, permanent horns on my head, man. I was like, holy shit, I gotta go to, you know, out shopping tomorrow with fucking horns on my head. It's like, hey, walking around the grocery store waving to grandma, you're like, you're smiling, you're like, hey, I'm just here for some peaches, baby, you know? But it's like, man, I got the horns off, okay, but I had these 2 red circles on my forehead.
Aww.
But I did it on purpose to my members, because I was like, you motherfuckers, I'm having a party, you know, I have a Halloween party, everybody canceled, like 20 people canceled from my group, you know?
Yeah.
So nobody showed from the group, and one person showed, an older woman who used to investigate for our site or whatever, and so I went as the goddamn devil. And that's what they call me, Prince of Darkness. Does that mean I'm a vampire? Hell no. Just means, well, it means that my members aren't very good to our organization, and the ones that are people like friends like you and people in the chat room right now. Those are the ones that believe, and that's all that matters. And you're distracting me again.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't apologize.
I like playing with myself like that.
No,
You've seen it before.
This is, I'm telling you, baby, this is the AngelOfThyNight radio show. Anything goes. I love it. The members like it. The people that come in the chat room love it. And, Mike Digital loves it too, I'm sure. You know, and we got a great group of people, you know, that come in our chat room. I mean, it's funny to read some of the stuff that goes on and some of the shit on our show, but I mean, the whole show has just been great and good to us the last couple months, and you know, I hope for years to come. And of course, you could be like our webcam girl of the chat room, you know, because we got to have webcam girls too.
Yes.
It's a great position. And there's prizes involved in it.
I like that. I like what you were saying with the French maid thing in the background.
Well, if I'm the prize, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Because then when you go around, you can say, hey, I met the Lord. They'll be like, what are you talking about? Lord Rick?
let's see, what else was I going to say? Are you interested in discussing how people can become vampires? The many ways people.
I'm very interested in power, Millie. Okay, I'm a Gemini, very in control of my own destiny and fate. And of course, like anything, some people are interested in fame. Some people are interested in money. Of course, I desire power. Power is knowledge. You become a vampire. It's about the power. It's I'm eternal. It's like I can learn everything there is on Earth, how the pyramids were built. I can go travel the entire world because vampires are said to be immortal and live for a few hundred years easily. I mean, yeah, it's about power. Who wouldn't want to become a vampire? To live forever? If I could live forever, I would travel the entire world and cover every mystery possible. I would. So yeah, I'm very interested in how to become a vampire. If it was offered to me, I definitely would take it.
Well,
it's because you want to advance yourself. Yeah. It's about it. It's like your soul. You can choose to die and wander the cemetery, or you can choose to be something more. That's your choice you make. But it's all knowledge and power. Some ghosts can lift boxes, but some ghosts can't. But those souls that lift boxes and throw boxes at Lord Rick, those are advanced souls. They learn the power of the soul and energy. It's the same thing with a vampire. Do you stay a human, or do you go to your next state in life, another metamorphosis? Those are the questions that I ask people. You want to advance yourself? When they join our society and when you join my team, you're taking on something into your life. Either you're going to love it or you're going to regret it. Because because when somebody joins my team, I'm going to take them places and they're going to see things that don't belong in this world. And we see things on our investigations.
Yeah.
Vampires? Maybe. Might be a possibility we might do some vampire investigations in California. I think we will.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
Definitely.
Well, supposedly, I mean, they're just superstitions, what people believe or believed in the past. How someone can become a vampire. Of course, the number one way is if a vampire bites you and you drink its blood, obviously, But there's also other ways, like the belief that if a corpse is touched by moonlight, then that people believe that person, the corpse, would become a vampire that wouldn't be received by Earth. I mean, a vampire is dead, and they just are not received by the ground. So, or heaven actually, heaven or hell won't receive them. So they're not really dead, but they are dead to the living, basically. So moonlight touching a corpse, or having an insect fly over the corpse, across the corpse actually. That's another way people believed someone would become a vampire. Also, when you're dead and you're taken out of the house with feet first, that's when people believe someone would become a vampire. Or not having a proper funeral with the 4 candles in each corner of the casket. That's another way. And there's other ways too, like if you were a witch or a wizard. You're at risk of dying and becoming a vampire if you're cursed in life, excommunicated, you commit suicide. People just have so many beliefs on that. Or having an ant and like a black cat cross the back then people would walk to the grave carrying the corpse. If a black cat crossed the road in front of the funeral party, that person would become a vampire, being a 7th son, or you were murdered and your murder went unavenged. Let's see what else. Yeah, being the offspring of a human. And I got something from a website. I know some things on the top of my head from my past research, but I have to look some other things up. So, like, let me see. Being the offspring of a human, woman, and demon, or incubus. That's another way people believe that. So, so many different ways that someone would become a vampire. And I think that's, there's so many, but that's pretty much the basics on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've covered a lot. It's very interesting material.
Yeah. What's really weird, though, is, like, also people believe that being a werewolf, having been a werewolf, when you die, you can become a vampire. I didn't know that. I never got that. When I first read it, I was like, oh, I don't know. If you're a werewolf, you become a vampire. So.
Oh, yeah, well, the werewolf thing is a whole separate phenomenon. And then some say silver can affect a vampire. I mean, a lot of these things are superstitions. Personally, myself, I think real vampires remain hidden in society. Like the sunlight doesn't bother them. I think real vampires blend in. I think that that's a lie. They can change quickly, maybe, because it's like the Indians and the shamans practiced a form of vampirism where the shamans would actually turn into a skinwalker or a wolf or a human that was half wolf. So if the shamans were able to do this, then maybe there are vampires among us. And this is something that we need to think about. Yeah, there's a disease out there, but there's hundreds of reports, thousands of reports on humans with fangs flying off, sucking blood. Mm-hmm. There has to be real vampires, but there's probably very few. They might be a race that's dying. Mm-hmm. Just like the human race, it's going to die one day. And we're either going to evolutionize to a stronger species or we're going to die. Same thing with the soul. You know, I don't strive to be just a ghost. I look at the bigger picture. I want to be the God, not the ghost. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's my view. It's not everybody's view, but if somebody has their own set of practices and beliefs, then so be it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that odd emperor, he's been harassing me about that. It's like, well, you know, you share your beliefs, but I got my beliefs on how the soul goes and what goes on and demons and ghosts and angels. We all have our own theories on those things. There's nothing wrong with different views and theories. And same thing with the vampires. You know, you can say they're fake or real, but it's a nice thing to debate and try to understand.
Mm-hmm. I know, and just like people believe, a lot of people say, oh, fairies are make-believe, they don't exist, whatever. I mean, there's a whole shamanistic religion, or a path, actually. It's not really a religion, a path, what's it called? Fairy shaman path, which is very similar to the shamanistic path that I took a while back. But people actually do believe that. You can contact fairies. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many people say, no, it's not true. They just want to see what's going to happen at work. What's going to happen you get your paycheck, you know, blah, 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 blah. So just ignore everything else. But there's so many things that we don't understand and sometimes people don't want to understand. They're too afraid to see what's out there. So, which is why you're so much better than other investigators. Because you actually, you're open to seeing everything.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm very open in my work. You know, it's just that you got to enjoy what you're doing. See, I was a lot more serious probably before my friend died. We were wound tight, you know, and I loosened up after his death a lot. And I said to myself, wait, you know, we need to loosen up and have fun with this because you could die at any time doing it. Things can happen to me. That's the whole thing about being the founder of the Paranormal Ghost Society. It's like I put myself at risk more than my investigators. I go out by myself. I check out places by myself. Sometimes I have to travel alone, go to people's houses by myself. It's very dangerous what I do. Mm-hmm. And so I value life, and I try to have as much fun as possible. And I've been treated like shit the last few years. I mean, we had Mason Winfield author that's up in New York fuck me over. You know, he wanted information, and all the places that he had listed, 10 of a row, were places that I just got done investigating. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, we've had a lot of authors do that to us. And so now, you know, I'm just trying to get the word across who we are and what we do. You know, and it doesn't matter what all these people who criticize us, they're going to realize that we're a great group and that, you know, you should be this way with your investigations, not the other way, because these people that take this stuff professional and serious? It's like, it makes it sound like they want money, you know? That's why they're that way. They think they're going to get paid.
Mhm.
And it's like, you know, that's not who we're about. We're not about getting paid at the Paranormal Ghost Society. We just love what we do.
Hmm.
And when I do meet you up in California and see you, which, you know, I'd like you to get involved with the Paranormal Ghost Society organization and help me with some research and do some investigations. Because I do think your heart's in the right place for this. You know, you have a very open mind about the paranormal and how it is and how it should be and all. And that's what the type of investigators I want, just people with an open mind.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot of fun, and I definitely am going to do some very cool places, haunted mines, caves, haunted Indian trails, ghost towns. I mean, I just got so many places. It's not, there's no end to the places I can check out in California. There's thousands in California, enough to keep me busy for a while and to bring on other people who come out and visit from other groups. So that way, you know, we have a lot of places. And up by you, there's a lot of places, too, near Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. That's
and you know what? I'm going to go by the Hollywood sign. All right?
Yeah.
I want to go by the Hollywood sign, and I want to hold my joint in front of the Hollywood sign. I just want my picture in front of Hollywood. Yeah. With the joint in my mouth. Well, that's not all I want, but it's like, gimme, I want more and more. You know, it's like California is just, it's a whole different coastline. You know, it's not, you drive on the Atlantic coast, the beach is up to the fucking road. You're like, where the fuck's the beach? There's no beach since the hurricanes hit here, or a lot of the beach is gone in Florida. But out on the Pacific coast, it's beautiful. There's rocks and cliffs and, you know, and I mean, it's just a beautiful coastline.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to going out there.
We were talking about that a while back. We were talking about, I showed you some pictures of some towns, really nice beaches, and haunted places, too. It's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But anyways, do you have anything else that you want to talk about?
Are you going to ask me a question again?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Last time
Me, I'm asking that question? Well, yeah, I'm stoned.
I never know what to ask.
I always like doing that to people. I'm like, you got a question for me? I do it with my members a lot, too, on my forums. And nobody ever seems to challenge me with nothing. It's like, yawn. Because the people on my paranormal board are really, I mean, they actually just are on there for the sends, but it's like you never get to know anybody if you don't get involved, you know? But, you know, I'm always open to questions. You know, some people called in tonight, but nobody really had too many long questions. I had a few people that should have called in to ask, but, you know, they get intimidated. They're like, oh, no, I'm on the phone with the Lord. So anybody who calls this line or calls in, they got balls. You know what I'm saying? Balls.
Yeah.
Except for the females, of course.
We got boobs.
I hope the males don't got balls, because if the females got balls, we got a goddamn problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
It's like, it's like, what kind of radio show is this? But it looks like everybody in the chat room's pretty content tonight. We didn't have no hating going on, really.
Oh.
I didn't see no hate groups uploading porn tonight. They got in trouble. They did because they get traced. You know, it's like, I mean, it's traced when you upload. You know, it's like, oh, how stupid. But anyways, I think it was a good show tonight. I mean, I thank you for sharing all the history and the information with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
You seem to know almost a little more than I do about these creatures.
Well, I've been studying it for a while, actually. That's it's a thing that I do. I just research everything paranormal that I can.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So many books, like really mysterious books that people don't even know about. So it's really crazy. But you learn every day, and names of so many demons, names of so many things, like even old pictures. I found one of a vampire. It looks like an old picture I found it online, and he has like a thing, but the thing's not at the bottom of the at the bottom of jaw area. The things that stick up. It's different, and he had horns, so it's interesting about. It's very interesting about that.
So what do you think about these books that I'm coming out with? I haven't told you what they are because I'd like you to be surprised. But I got these 2 books coming out this month. Well, the one was published the other day ago, but I got to wait on my barcode or whatever because I paid for it.
The IBSN?
Yeah, and I have to pay for that. It's pretty expensive, but I got to do it because I got to get my books out there. And I got 2 books actually. The first book is going to be very unique. It's not going to be what you expect, but it is very nice. And the second book is going to be a little more in-depth on a few things. And that's coming together really nice. I'm almost done, ready to publish that, too. I don't have enough time. I'm moving in a couple weeks, so I can't get my 3rd book out that I wanted to get out. But, I mean, you know, if when they become available, I will advertise them in the chat room here. We're going to have a show in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to have another show in probably 2 weeks, you know, so by then I can give the information.
Yeah, and I told you I'm going to help you a lot with that. So.
Yeah, well, you can always use help. I would like everybody to get involved in everything. You know, it's just hard to get people to pull them in to get involved, and a lot of people don't want to be on our show because people get shy or they're afraid to call in or talk. You know, it's just some people, like I said, if they call in, they got balls. But people who are afraid to call in, it's like, I'm not going to bite you. Just call on in and say hi.
And it's okay if you bite.
Yeah, well, I could bite. It depends on the mood, you know. But you know, it's I don't know. I think that we got a very good future ahead of us. Coast to Coast does not like the Paranormal and Ghost Society, and now that I am an author, Coast to Coast really misses out on a good interview.
Yeah.
You know, because they want to judge me. See, that's the whole thing. Everybody's turning around and judging me, but our society's doing... Wow, talk about technical difficulties. Okay, can you hear me? We had a little bit of a technical problem once again. I'm definitely going to have to look into some new damn equipment. I'm telling you, I just get cut off all the time. Anyways, I am sorry about that. When it cuts me off, it also cuts the users that are online. Okay, I'm still here. Can everybody hear me? It's not working right now. Rob Zombie, you can't hear me? Yeah, but you're replying back. Okay, well, anyways, we had some technical difficulties, but I should be back up and connected. If you want to recall and finish up the show, Millie, you can. I'll tell you, well, Now Live just put a new system together. And what it is that they're testing out, they're doing a new type of chat room for you guys right now. And it sometimes cuts off. So that's what it really is. You have to just, if I get cut off, just refresh the page. You can try that, or, you know, just wait, be patient, and I can call right back in on the show or whatever. But anyways, I think we're going to wrap up the show, and okay, well, Millie's calling back in. I think, you know what I think on this show? I think everybody likes when I smoke one. That way, you know, I'm busy smoking, the girls are busy flashing, and everybody wins. Okay, there we go. We're connected. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Cool.
That was weird. What was I talking about?
Well, I don't know. What were we talking about? Well, see, I get cut off, which is okay. It doesn't make the show bad. It's just that I have to call back in, and it's just a pain on my end, you know. Yeah. But yeah, it was really weird because it had cut you off also.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I'm back. So, yeah, we kind of need a new system with this.
Well, basically we're just discussing the whole vampire thing, and you know, I think a lot of interesting views have been passed around. As much fun as we've had tonight in the room, between you and I think we put out a lot of educational material about vampires.
Yeah, it's a really fun topic. I love it.
We've covered a lot
Mm-hmm.
tonight. History, the castle, everything. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. And we've had a lot of viewers listen to our show tonight. The chat room got up to like, I think 11 or 15 or something. And then we get people that also listen from my widgets on the website and stuff, so they listen to it from there.
Yeah.
So I think we had a pretty high amount of listeners tonight.
Mhm. That's great.
And as White Trash said, you showed your tits. And and you know what? The whole funny thing about that is, you do get a prize. In a couple months, I am going to send you a prize. Actually, I will deliver the prize in person to you.
Ooh.
Because, see, on this, let me tell you about our radio show, okay? We've had a lot of first-timers. We've had the first celebrity in our chat room last week, Adrian Curry, okay? First celebrity, VH1. First set of tits ever showing on my radio program. You won that award. I mean, think about all these first-time things. What about that author we had on, Bill Bean? That was our first guest we ever had on our show. All these things are so memorable to the show. It's, you know, we run such a great show.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I think the room is very excited, and well, yeah, I said white trash, you know. I call, whatever the name is in the room, I try to call the person by that, you know.
White trash.
Yeah.
That's our Halloween costume that was white trash. Have you seen those costumes?
A costume?
Yeah, it's a Halloween costume. It's just a bag. And
I don't know.
White trash.
Oh, a white trash bag?
Yeah, and people wear it.
Mm.
I've never seen those costumes before.
I'll tell you, I don't know what I'm going to be for this upcoming Halloween. I have no idea. I was a priest one year, a devil this year. I mean,
I never dress up.
I don't know what I need. What do I need to be? I think I'm going to let the people on the chat room or in the chat room vote on my Halloween costume. I'll give them a choice, a multiple choice quiz.
You're going to be the dungeon master.
Well, I can list things: werewolf, zombie, Chippendale. What the heck? Stoner, yeah. I'm sure everybody will pick the stoner. I'll just get the bandana and the tie-dye shirt. You know, I think I'm going to have you in my movie. We're going to do a new Cheech and Chong. We'll call it like Lord Rick and Mike. Lord Rick and Mike Digital.
Oh, that's going to be good.
I don't think Mike Digital's in the chat room, though. I think he did have to go to bed because he had to work in the morning. But he will listen to the rerun on this, you know. And it's like we can make a new production, and you could be in the production.
Yeah,
you could be like the topless French maid.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And I'll be like, yeah, man, I want to smoke one, man. I'll be like, come here, Millie, bend over, man. It's just a movie, you know, it's the movie business.
It's okay. I mean, I've done it before, so it's fine. I've been in things.
You've been in the French maid, huh? You've been the French maid that bends over, you said?
No, I can't be. No, I haven't done porn. I haven't done other kind of movies, like regular films.
Yeah, you've done films.
Yeah.
But you haven't worked for this producer yet.
No, I haven't. Really
what I'm producing is much different. It's a little more hidden behind closed doors.
Oh.
That's the type of production I'm talking about.
It's gonna be big, yeah.
I'll make you a movie star. It'll include you and me. And a couple goth girls, okay?
Oh, good. Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
You know I like that.
Oh, I know you do. I say bring it on, but you have to say bring it on to me because I'm coming to California.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a party out there. Paranormal investigations, campouts, good times. And good smoke, too. Humboldt County, they got great smoke. Indian Reservation. Just go on there, you smoke with it. Oh, it's great. Just pass the peace pipe around.
Yeah.
Boo. That was very weird. Okay, well, I think I'm going to close up the show. I think that Now Live has been booting me off enough tonight. Hopefully, we'll have that fixed. I mean, like I said, they're redoing their chat room and everything else. But I did want to thank everybody tonight for calling in, for listening to the show, for being supportive. And if, like I said, we're going to be looking in a couple weeks for other people to be a co-host. If you want to apply for the position, contact me. If everybody in the chat room can hear me, just let me know, because like I said, there's some technical problems. It's half of it's now live, but the other half is I got to get better equipment to do the show. But I'm going to close out the show. Okay, I just want to share. It's like a lot of people have been joining the show, even though the show keeps getting cut off. More and more people keep joining, and we're about to close the show. So with that in mind, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight to the Angel of Thy Night radio show. I'm going to close it. The next show will be probably in about 2 weeks, right before I leave Florida. I don't know if Metal Juan is in the chat room. Sometimes people get really poor connection and they get booted out of the chat when they can't get back in. Or they have to reboot or whatever the case is. Yeah, I think... But I'm going to close out the show. It's been a very good show tonight. See, I'm saying because I'm stoned. But anyways, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to do this. Out of all the listeners in the chat room, if you want, email me and tell me what the next theme you'd like for the show to be about, and I'll cover it. Like this week was about vampires. Next week or in 2 weeks we can do something about lycanthropes and werewolves. Whatever. But when I get enough input from the show of what you want your next show to be, we'll go ahead and we'll do the show on that. Just to make it fun and cool right before I move out to California and shit. Anyways, if you're in, just let me know. You can contact me at lordofthyknight@aol.com. Or you can visit our website at www.paranormalghostsociety.org. You can email me through the site or join whatever forums and get in touch with me. Let me know what you'd like the next show to be about. And also, if you run a band, we'd like to promote you on our website. We have a very special band promotion page along with a literary guild, or if you put us in our book or whatever, we'll put you on that and we'll promote you and even possibly sell your book through our site. So we got a lot of interesting programs going on. Anyway, fans, thanks for tuning in. This show has gone a very long ways tonight. And once again, thanks, fans. And this is the Paranormal Ghost Society, your founder, Lord Rick.